It says we're live. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Casual as Fuck. The stream's so casual, I often don't even start up a video game.
Probably
And
not.
we do no prep. None at
No.
all. We have no idea what we're going to discuss. It's
No.
going to be great. Craig, how
Yeah,
are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Been having some weird dreams lately, but otherwise I'm all right. We
What
got a
kind of
couple of
weird
comments
dream?
already. How can I justify blaming Craig Bragg for you being first? What? He's
Yeah,
always
no,
first.
I'm. It's hard. It's really hard to beat me to my own stream. Like that's
Yeah,
going to be trouble for anyone who's trying.
it's true.
Good
And
luck,
and I don't know how he does it, but whenever I post my stream, he's always first as well. I think I beat him once, and that's only because I think I commented before I sent him the link. So
Yeah, no, that'll do it.
yeah. So I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I had a good day yesterday. Took the day off. Went down to the border. Picked up some stuff. I was telling you that before the stream. Everybody, I got myself an airsoft rifle in a mystery box. It was the grand prize. It was a 1 out of 50 box. I got a $500 airsoft rifle for only $250. So in my view, that's a win. And customs let me bring it over the border, so I'm happy about that. So
Yeah, it was good day. Good day.
my hair is looking ridiculous though.
Looks
You
awesome.
say it looks good. I say it looks awful. I fell asleep with product in it, so now it looks like this.
It'll do. Are there any other evil people here?
I think Irving's the evilest.
Well, I am from Toronto, so
It's true.
yeah.
Plus, you're a rabid anti-Semite, so that makes you pretty evil. They're the chosen people, Irving. How can you be against the chosen people?
Oh man. So really, what should we discuss today? What
Well, you
craziness
put
has been
Super
happening in our
Bowl.
country?
You put Super Bowl in the title, so maybe we should talk about Super Bowl. What's LMNOP? Oh, Super Bowl. Oh, that's the number, right?
Yeah, so I figured like the only thing I was gonna actually mention about the Super Bowl is that I remembered it was happening.
Yeah.
That's all.
I don't
Yeah.
even know who's in it.
I had no
I don't
idea
pay
what to
attention to that
title
shit.
it. I had no idea what to title this. So I was just like, oh yeah, Super Bowl's happening, sure.
I just remember in college the Super Bowl was happening, and one of my buddies, I found out what number it was, and I went to my buddy, dude, you're older than the Super Bowl. He was actually like a year older than the Super Bowl. He's like, shut up, man. I'm like, you're older than the Super Bowl. I'm not as old as the Super Bowl. At least there's that, So
Gee, what Super Bowl are they on now?
I don't know.
Is it 60 something?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because he was a few years older than me. Craig Bragg shouldn't worry. He can't look any uglier. Thank you. It's nice of you to say, cocksucker. We shouldn't swear on stream or we'll never get picked up.
I think it's what, like the first 60 seconds or something. After that, it's
something like that.
really. Yeah. So anyway, the Jews.
Okay, so starting next week, Pox Toxic will be Irving's co-host, and I'll just be standing by watching. That's funny. I did look up that statistic you were telling me about Neanderthal DNA.
Oh yeah.
Turns out it's Asians have the highest percentage of Neanderthal DNA.
What date is that information?
I don't know. I can't remember. I was reading it, I don't know, shortly after we talked about it last week. But either way, yeah, people are people. We're all made up of a weird smorgasbord of genetic material. Some is Neanderthal, some's Cro-Magnon, some's Homo sapiens sapiens, some's probably fucking Mudkip. I don't know. Like we're made of a whole bunch of different shit. So
Ghost DNA?
What's that?
Don't forget that. Ghost DNA.
What's ghost DNA?
It means they don't know what it is. They don't know where it came from.
There
It
you
doesn't
go.
track
It's probably
any
aliens. It's
hominid.
probably aliens.
So, or there was other hominids we don't know, like
yeah,
fossilization is actually incredibly rare occurrence. It usually takes like the absolute perfect conditions.
Yeah,
So
they have to die and fall near water, and they have to be undisturbed while they become covered with sediment in order for
yeah,
them to be fossilized.
undisturbed while being covered with sediment.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That means that scavengers don't find their bones
Yeah,
and drag them away before they get covered with mud and dirt and stuff like that. So I'm
yeah,
sure it
yeah.
happens. I mean, obviously it happens. We got fossils in the world, but yeah. I thought Europeans had the most Neanderthal DNA. No, it turns out. Well, what I saw was Asians.
Yeah, no, Neanderthals. So what it is like sub-Saharan Africans of the modern day seem to have absolutely no Neanderthal DNA, and everybody else has some.
Hmm.
Because Neanderthal was the hominid that sort of got trapped in northern Europe during the Ice Age
Hmm.
and didn't return south from there till the Ice Age was ending.
Hmm.
So the hominids in sub-Saharan Africa never interacted with Neanderthal, where like everywhere from what you call the cradle of civilization and outwards from there. So like yeah, that crossing point into Africa was sort of like the bridge that Neanderthal never managed to cross, right?
Right.
So
Until after the Ice Age, and you know what? And if you've watched the, is it Netflix? I think it's a Netflix series called Ancient Apocalypse. It's really interesting. Basic premise is there was an advanced civilization that was around prior to the Ice Age, but modern archaeologists believe that human beings never developed much beyond hunter gatherers until around the Ice Age, right? So the implication is that prior to our current bloodline, there was another humanoid species that was much, much more advanced, like very advanced. They had astronomy, agricultural, and the theory is that they taught the primitive humans that we were all descended from how to do things like map the stars, plant crops at certain times of the year to get the best yields. Because prior to the sort of the growth and spread of civilization way back when, all there was hunter gatherers. So it's like Europeans finding Stone Age Native Americans right after the Ice Age and saying, "Here's how you do it." Instead of just killing them and giving them diseases, they said, "Here's how you do it. Here's how you farm. Here's how you make a wheel. Here's how you smelt metal. Start with that really soft stuff, the stuff that looks kind of like green. Don't worry about that stuff that looks orange because that stuff it's going to be harder for you to do. You'll eventually get there." Like, so this is the implications, and it's really compelling stuff, really interesting stuff. But apparently, he's like constantly called like
mm,
an idiot. I mean, he's not an archaeologist; he's a journalist, right? But
yeah.
he's completely dismissed by the cognoscenti of the archaeological community, saying, "No, no, no, no. Human beings were just hunter gatherers at that time." But more and more evidence shows that no, there were some people who knew a hell of a lot more than just how to like uh, you know, gather berries and kill antelope. So,
Yeah, and I think part of it is like part of the problem is the over specialization in different scientific fields, right? So like archaeologists aren't geologists. So when the geologist says, "Look, this erosion on the Sphinx, on the outer walls of the Sphinx here, that's obviously water, and it's 13,000 years worth, which means this hole was dug and this Sphinx was built because it's built out of that hole, right?
mhm,
At least 13,000 years ago because there hasn't been rain here for 8,000 years or whatever. So it's like
right.
they're like, no, 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 no. That's not what we know of the Egyptians. Yeah,
Yeah, the
but
Egyptians
this is
existed,
geology.
what is it, 3000 BC or 4000 BC or whatever it was, right?
Yeah,
12,000.
yeah.
It wasn't
2,500.
12,000 BC. So, but it's interesting what this guy was talking about in his series was like there's lots of hieroglyphics in ancient Egypt that look like they were written over even older hieroglyphics.
Mm,
And they were in a not as sophisticated like carving, almost like it was graffiti on top of, you know. But
Yeah, and like it's hard because people are too specialized. They're not crossing all their evidence from all their different scientific fields to be able to figure this shit out, and they're just basically staying in their own corners.
Yeah, and I think also the problem comes from sort of the culture in the scientific community. Now, I can't speak to it specifically because I'm not a scientist, but it seems to me like it's like a lot of other institutional cultures where it's about recognition, notoriety, fame, getting cited, being considered an expert in your field, and what better way? Like, you don't want to have any previous papers undercut by some journalist who says, actually, we found evidence of an alternative.
Well, I mean,
Right.
forget papers, right? Imagine for a second that you were an expert on fill in the blank period of prehistory.
Right.
You wrote a book that the
Yeah.
public was consuming en masse, and then I show up and go, actually, everything in that book is wrong. Civilization is far older than you know. Here's the evidence. Your response is going to be no,
Yeah,
because
because
you need to
ego,
keep
right?
selling your book. Your book will never sell another copy, if I'm
Right,
right.
because ego, but and yeah, because you have a monetary interest in making sure that you're considered the expert. But and that's the problem with the system. When in reality, philosophically speaking, the scientific principle should be that I want to be proven wrong because that expands our knowledge,
Yeah, yeah. But
right?
financial incentive and egos, you are correct. Those two things combine to ruin everything.
Kind of stymie discovery. How about that?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure.
So,
You know what? I think the only sort of discipline that seems to be open to to a degree, maybe more open, I should say. I shouldn't say like the openest,
hmm,
but astronomy. They're constantly like looking, well, because there's so much shit they can't explain. So if somebody comes up with a theory that some way explains it, they're like, awesome, we know so much more now. That's
yeah,
so
yeah,
great. You know what I mean? So yeah.
yeah. Oh, but on the Neanderthal issue, there's a book by I think it's the guy's name Danny Vendramini. He's been studying Neanderthals now for like 12 years,
Hmm.
pretty in depth, and he's wrote a book called Them and Us. Uh,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You were mentioning that.
yeah, and
It's kind of controversial in that it turns out Neanderthal, they weren't just like they were primitive tool users that had rituals in terms of like observations about death and the afterlife. It's presumed they had some sort of belief in a supernatural. Um, and so people looked at them, oh, they were advanced, kind of thing, right? But it turns out that you were saying, based on his research, that they were actually cannibalistic. They ate their own people. They ate other early hominids, and
yeah.
they. But do they know specifically in what context? Was it a matter of like, Donner Party? Okay, fucking, there's lots of ice here. We're starving. We better eat something. We're gonna eat Bill.
So sort of.
Okay.
Like the idea is that it's like a million years ago when they got trapped and they were separated from the other hominids for half a million years, and they were living in northern Europe covered in ice.
Yeah.
There's almost no edible plants.
Right.
So their only source of food are these enormous ice age monsters,
Mammals.
right? Like
Oh, yeah.
woolly mammoths, woolly rhino, woolly or what and
Saber-toothed tiger cat. That kind
well,
of.
yeah,
Well, the
yeah,
antelope.
and they're in competition to eat a massive elk the size of a fucking minibus
Yeah.
with literal dire wolves and cave bears and
Yeah.
yeah, saber-toothed cats and shit like so they had to become incredibly vicious hunters.
Yeah. Hmm.
And when there's not enough food or your tribe is too big, too many mouths to feed,
Yeah.
they would just eat their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I remember seeing a documentary a while back about Neanderthals, and they had some pretty interesting adaptations. Like they had like a way of just fighting through the pain. Like they break their finger in a fall or something, they just fucking put it back in place and kept going.
their bones were way thicker
Yeah.
than the other hominids and probably had to be to support muscle mass because they're far closer in like shape and build to like a gorilla than they are to like a modern human.
So heavily muscled.
Yeah, and like the idea is that even a prepubescent Neanderthal child would be able to grab you or I and like smash us on the floor like a rag doll.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like they're very, very strong. But they're also incredibly smart and yeah, probably had spoken language and yeah, tool making, right?
Yeah.
That they could make wicked spears and put up a good fight against other massive, super fauna predators and
Sure,
super
sure.
fauna prey.
I mean, the great thing about like human hunters, right?
Hmm.
Like going back that far, is they're they're endurance hunters.
Yeah,
Like they'll just stalk prey, and they won't stop stalking prey.
yeah,
Right? Like a bear will eventually give up and try and find greener pastures. But they get oh, there's a herd of fucking antelope or whatever, right? We're gonna go after it, and maybe they've managed to wound one, but it's still way too far away. But they just fucking follow it. They
yeah.
follow it till it's dead, and
Or
then
or
or they follow it until they can take it down, by themselves.
so yeah. What are they? I think they call it persistence hunting.
Yeah,
And even
persistence hunting. Yeah,
if
yeah,
it's not injured, not a herd, they just keep chasing it over a period of 24, 36 hours until the animal collapses of exhaustion and they just
yeah,
walk up and slit its throat,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right? Like literally.
yeah.
Look, we run marathons for fun these days, right? Like the
Right?
human endurance and human agility. Look at gymnasts, right?
Oh, I know.
These are huge physical traits
Yeah,
of our adaptations that we still
mm,
have along with intelligence, right? Like
yeah.
we as an animal, we're still pretty good on the physical level. We just don't have claws and teeth like that, right?
Or
Or armor.
prehensile tails. You
Yeah.
imagine if they found a race of like of humans
Hmm.
with tails,
So
like prehensile tails?
funny story. They may have, and they may have just simply dismissed it outright as another primate. But there are a lot of tales from like Indian and Asian pre-cultures
Hmm.
about you know mystical hero person
Yeah, monkey
meets
god,
or just
monkey
like
king.
king of somewhere meets the monkey people
Yeah, yeah,
and he talks to them and they help him do a thing and it's
yeah,
like yeah, why wouldn't there be a transitional animal that maybe still had a prehensile tail and a dog face but also
yeah.
had
I
language.
mean, it makes sense, right? Baboons. So, from what I understand of primate genetics, all apes are monkeys, but not all monkeys are apes.
No,
Yeah, we were all evolved from monkeys.
no, we're all primates. They're all
We're
primates.
primates.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're primates, but the apes are evolved from monkeys.
I guess.
This is I understand it
Okay.
based on a like a what do you call it? A biologist, an evolutionary biologist. Uh, so it stands to reason that the tail would ultimately there'd be some ecological niche in which the tail would be advantageous
Hmm.
post you know upright walking or post transition to ape I guess is what I'm saying, right? Because
Right.
chimpanzees don't have it, gorillas don't have it, orangutans don't have it, gibbons do gibbons have it? Gibbons don't have it, but isn't there like some baboons that still have tails?
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, but
But
they
like,
don't. They clearly do not look like monkeys.
right, right.
I don't think
But
I do, Costin. I think all apes are evolved from monkeys, so we are essentially evolved from monkeys.
thing is, we humans have a tailbone,
Yeah,
and occasionally humans are born with a vestigial tail, right? Like some genetic anomaly occurs. There it is.
yeah. Fun fact: humans have the biggest dicks of all primates. Yeah, like comparative to body mass. Yeah, yeah. But then we are also the fattest of all humans of all
Mm.
primates, right? We can get super fat, in which case our dicks to body ratio are really small.
And we're the least muscular, otherwise.
Yeah,
So thanks, Jeezy. But yeah, like fucking Neanderthals. Yeah, so when the ice age was ending 500,000 years ago and the Neanderthals could actually go to greener pastures, move south, they came across other hominids that were not really in competition with predators and didn't really have any predators going after them. So
Yeah.
they would just mostly gather, eating nuts and fruits and vegetables and roots and shit. And the Neanderthals look at them and are like, hey, that's easy
Protein.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just started eating them,
Yeah.
probably raping them and perhaps enslaving them.
Yeah. Probably. No doubt.
So yeah, so that's yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting information. Very interesting topic.
Yeah, yeah.
Primatology, early human history. I've always found it very interesting, and and it's really caused me to like sort of look at things differently after watching this documentary series, Ancient Apocalypse, because I'm like, kind of there's a lot of shit that kind of makes sense. Now I don't know if his his hypothesis about all of the different sites that he visited and looked at the evidence
Mm.
necessarily rings true. Like for instance, the Bimini Road to me seems like, okay, I see it, but I can also see how it might be a very unique looking natural formation.
It's a bit of a stretch, but on the other hand, people don't realize, like, especially the climate people, and they're like, so like, oh, we have to recycle this renewable resource that because none of this will ever like landfills will never degrade. It's like, yeah, they will.
Yeah, of
You know,
course it will. Everything breaks down.
like if you took a car,
Yeah,
right, brand new, I don't know, fucking Mustang, and
yeah.
threw it in the ocean so that it sank to 100 feet below the water, how long do you think it would still be there that someone would be able to recognize that this was a car?
I think there'd be some elements that would sort of stick around for a long, long time, like synthetic elements. Like, but even when you think about it, though, even nylon can be consumed by microorganisms at this point,
Right.
and nylon's a recent invention.
So
So,
turns out though, it's 300 years.
yeah,
It's not thousands or millions of years. 300 years, that car is gone. You
right,
won't find any part of it that you would say this was part of a car,
yeah,
right? Like it'll just disappear back into the sand forever,
yeah.
right?
And it just when they analyze the sand, they'll find that there's bits of iron in it. They'll find there's bits
Yeah,
of aluminum in it.
and
They'll
it
find
won't.
there's bits of like uh, carbon fiber in it, and it
But
won't even look like
absolutely,
carbon fiber at that point. It'll just be look, oh, there's actual organic material in here.
Titanic is still identifiable, and it's much larger than say a Mustang. But
And it's
give it
also hasn't
another
been
two
down there
hundred
for
years.
300 years, right?
Yeah, give it
300 years
another
from
two
now, the
hundred years.
Titanic might be very, very different looking, right? Yeah, real interesting stuff.
Yeah,
I I'll tell you about my recent musings if you want.
Craig's oddities.
No, they're not oddities,
Oh,
just
okay.
what's going on in my head. I've been waking up feeling very anxious of late, and I'm having dreams, and I know I'm having dreams, but I don't know what the dreams. I can't remember what the dreams are when I wake up.
Hmm.
So I've just been waking up feeling anxious, and I think it has to do with what's going on in the world right now, right? Things look kind of bleak, right? And the other day I woke up, and I remember saying out loud, waking up, it's the fourth turning. And I don't know what the fourth turning is. I think I've heard Tim Pool say it once, but I have no idea what it is.
So
It
you know
turns out
that
it's a
thing.
book about cyclical patterns of U.S. history, U.S. destiny, and I think it might be where that poem about weak men creating hard
Yes.
times. I think that might be where it's from.
Yeah.
But in any event, I have this apocalyptic sense that things are going to get really fucked up really quick, and I'm talking like in the next couple of years, and I'm not talking 10 years from now. I'm talking the next year or so. And I don't know why. I don't know how exactly it's going to come out, but I'm just sort of seeing things kind of like the way I saw Donald Trump would be elected president back when he announced. I'm like, he's going to win. I just knew it. And I feel like I just know it that things are going to get really shitty relatively quickly.
So maybe my black pilledness has been rubbing off on you a little bit. You're usually the voice of hope here.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
You
here's
need
the
to.
here's the white pill of it all. It's going to be an adventure. It's going to be shit you tell your fucking grandkids about. Yes, I was there at the fourth turning. Yes, I was there when when the whatever happened. And you'll have stories to tell. So there's that. And I
I,
mean, I think I'm thinking about it. I got ammo. I got firearms. I've got canned food. and I've got bottled water. The only thing I don't have is a generator. So I might be having to like go out into the wilderness and try and, source my own food and such. I might have to, you know, burn wood in order to stay warm at some point. But um, as it stands right now, I think I've got a halfway decent chance to sort of see my way through some of the worst of it. But maybe we'll see.
Yeah, no, I mean, I I don't know where to start with what's going wrong economically here, right?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a global economic collapse. I expect that will happen in the next year. Global economic collapse in the next year.
Like,
I could see a limited nuclear war happening because of what's going on in Russia, Ukraine. Um, I could see escalations between China and the U.S. And then ultimately, it will just be open conflict for extended period of time between BRICS nations and NATO nations or global nations, globalist nations,
Swift nations.
SWIFT nations. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
What does
I
SWIFT
think that
stand for?
forget, but it's the transactional service in US dollars, right?
Okay,
And
okay,
now BRICS is the transactional service in rubles,
right.
right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see that in the next year or so. It'll begin in the next year or so, but who knows?
Yeah, but I mean, none of it's going to matter if all the average population is basically, starving because it takes a wheelbarrow full of old marks to buy a loaf of bread for a
No, it's
million
true.
different
Well,
marks,
people,
right?
you know what? The thing is, like, if there's an economic collapse, people are just going to stop using currency, and they're going to go back to a barter economy where they can,
And
right?
raiding
Or
is
they're just going to rob their neighbors of their food and valuables.
yeah.
Yeah. So
So
it is what it is.
yeah, but I mean, a lot of my predictions about those kinds of things are wrong, and I'm kind of banking on that. I've been wrong a lot about
I
that
hope
shit.
we're wrong. I hope it doesn't happen. I don't want to see that happen. Um, but in the meantime, I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to go to Florida next week. So I said it in my video today. There will be no live stream next week, probably. I mean, I might do it from Florida, but I doubt it. I don't think the wife
That
would
would
like
be
that too
cool.
much. It would
Yeah,
be
your wife.
cool. I could sit out on the lanai and either have my phone or my tablet or whatever and just live stream with you that. Um, and then I'm going to Virginia in a couple of weeks, and I'm just going to live my life, enjoy it, and just take things as they come. Uncle Doozy says, take Hooperzine A. Hooperzine? Hooperzine A. You'll remember your dreams. I don't know what Hooperzine A is.
Yeah, can you just get it at like the Shoppers Drug Mart?
Is it like something I can get off the shelf, or do I have to get a prescription for it?
Yeah, there's some other ways too. Like for me, I find if I eat something spicy within an hour of falling
Move
asleep,
it.
I'll have pretty vivid dreams.
Right.
For some people, it's bananas. He says you can
Huh.
get it from Amazon. So
Huh. I'll look it up. I'll start keeping a dream diary.
yeah, and if you're looking for a lucid dreaming experience, you just have to learn how to do your reality checks and do them regularly enough when you're awake that eventually sometime in your dream, because most times your dreams are just like rehashes of things that went on in the day or the week,
Seems to be,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so if you do the reality checks often enough while you're awake,
Yeah.
while you're asleep, you may actually do a reality check and realize, oh, I'm fucking dreaming.
So reality check saying, like this is a can of Coke and it's half empty. Is that what
Uh,
you mean?
I,
Or
maybe, right? I mean, there's a couple of key ones, like try turning on and off the lights every once in a while, because
okay.
generally light levels in a dream will remain stable no matter what you do.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, my favorite one, because most people don't notice when you're doing it, is that's it. Plug your nose and breathe in through your nose. Because
Oh,
if you're asleep and you do that, sleep is breathing is one system that is completely subconscious. So
yeah.
if you're in a subconscious state and you take a deep breath, you'll take a deep breath, but you won't have been plugging your nose because that's a conscious action.
Right, right.
So plug your nose and breathe in, right? And if you can breathe like that, you're dreaming.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. I find I'm congested quite a bit anyway, so
Hmm. You'll know the difference. Yeah.
yeah. Oh man, I'm tired. This fall asleep on the couch till 5:30 in the morning is not a good thing to do. I mean, I've napped throughout the day because of it, but my sleep cycle's all off now.
Hmm.
All off because I slept under the couch until 5:30, woke up, watched some YouTube, fell back to sleep, woke up again, took the dog for a walk, watched some more YouTube, fell back asleep, woke up. So I'm all fucked up now. Imagine Trudeau as a war PM. Yeah, I know, right?
So where is it? I guess maybe we can do this, right?
Yeah, 99 Chinese balloons. Yeah, apparently there was
Yeah,
other ones. One was shot down over the Yukon
yeah, yeah. Like,
by Canadian forces.
and my question is though, hold on, wait a minute. Are they just coming out of Canada? Because we have like Chinese military installations in our fucking country. So maybe that one that got all the way to
That was
Montana
my
before somebody
suspicion.
noticed it.
That was my suspicion because it was found over. It was spotted over Manitoba before it went into the United States. Now, what they're saying is they tracked it along the Aleutian Islands and down Alaska and then into the United States through
Sure, sure.
Manitoba and then into the United States. But I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if it just fucking flew out of Canada. You know,
Yeah,
because we have Chinese forces here in Canada already.
yeah, no. Trudeau war PM, right? He is. He's on the side of the Chinese here. That's all. And he's at war against the common people.
Yep,
That's his enemy.
that's right. Those filthy peasants. Ugh. You've been following the Hogwarts Legacy stuff at all?
Just hardly.
I've been watching some playthroughs. It seems like a good game. I don't know if I'll ever get it. I don't really want to play it on my PC, like my laptop here, and I don't want to buy a PS5 to play it on. So
Yeah, I've never played a like Harry Potter game.
no.
I don't know why I would start now.
Do you ever read the books?
No.
They're
Like
pretty
my
good
sister's a
books.
huge fan and keeps me up to date on that stuff, and I watched the movies and whatnot. But like to me it's always a little bit funny, a little bit silly.
It's juvenile fiction, right? Like the
It,
books are juvenile fiction, but they're well written juvenile fiction. They're not
sure.
terrible.
No, but for me it's more about the jokes, right? Like first off, like what is it? There's the houses, right?
Hmm.
The four houses of the school, and what are they? Is it Gryffindor? Is the
They're kind
big
of like
one?
the good guys. They're kind of like the fucking
Yeah,
right.
but then there's one called Ravenclaw.
Yeah, and they're like the
The
really
nerd.
smart ones who are like
Yeah.
studious and shit. Yeah.
So I'm all for Ravenclaw. First off,
Mhm.
it's a black bird on a blue background, so I have
Yeah.
some buttons and patches and shit because that's just fucking cool.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, but I mean,
And
like,
then there's the Hufflepuff, which are kind of like the joke school. Out. And I'm
and
trying
it,
to remember what their thing is. I think is that they're like fucking really friendly and shit. They're like
yeah, they're the
nerds. They're
healers,
like the
right?
friendly
Like,
nerds.
if the whole thing was like a RPG, they're the healers. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
your
yeah, they're
girlfriend
all
gets
into like
killed.
herbology and shit like that, and
Yeah,
nature magic and shit. And then there's Slytherin, which are all a bunch of like dirty necromancers and shit. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, no, exactly. Like Gryffindor's the paladins, Ravenclaw's the mages, Hufflepuff is the cleric healer,
Yeah.
and Slytherin, yeah, is the necromancer.
Yeah,
Like,
necromancer, assassin, thief. Yeah. Oh, I got something in my eye. It's killing me here. Ah, my ophthalmologist, the guy who shined lasers in my eyes, says, "Don't rub your eyes." I'm like, fuck. I've been doing it my
ever,
whole life. It's kind of a hard habit to break.
yeah, you just need more Visine.
Yeah. I just need to stop sticking my finger in there.
That's what she said.
So we got
But
Uncle
no,
GZ
like,
in the chat, Ben Felson, Costin, of course. He's always here, which is great. He's a loyal viewer. No CMAC tonight. I wonder where CMAC is tonight.
I haven't seen her yet. Still time, still time. But some of the Harry Potter jokes are just fucking fantastic, especially when what's his name there, that kid who actually turned out to be a good actor, played Harry
Oh,
Potter, and
Radcliffe?
yeah, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually like a lot of his films that aren't Harry Potter. Like
I
I've
know.
really come to like him as an actor. He's really good, especially in some of the weirdest stuff that he did, like Horns.
Horns was great.
Horns is fucking amazing,
Yeah,
and one called Swiss Army Man.
yeah, where he's a corpse.
Yes, like I'm sure when they asked him to play it, they wanted him for the first role. He's like, "No, I want to be the dead guy," because he's doing the strangest things. Because he's got Harry Potter money, he can
Yeah,
do whatever the fuck he wants,
exactly.
right? It's so good, it's so good. But he did this one where he's like an undercover cop, and he's infiltrating like a neo-Nazi skinhead gang. So during the filming of this movie, he's got the shaved, like there's a picture of the shaved head, tight white t-shirt, his arm up like this, and then somebody puts in the Harry Potter font, Harry Potter and the final solution.
I've seen that meme. I've seen that meme. Yeah, yeah. Just some of the hot takes from people in the industry. Like Wired gave it a 1 out of 10, despite the fact that it's like the best selling game currently, and it's like it's beat out what was the second best one by about 50 million copies or something, 50 million downloads, or 50,000 downloads, I should say. It's like anyway, yeah, it's crazy that and the thing is they gave the review that it's in the context of the larger social issues. I'm like, no, you're just reviewing a game. Don't fucking review it based on what J.K. Rowling said. Like it's fucking ridiculous.
Well, what's the new meme I saw? It's just a picture of J.K. Rowling,
Yeah,
right? And it
Roland,
says,
is that how you're supposed to say it?
well, you in this context, yes, because they spell her name out, but it says, they see me rolling,
Yeah,
they them hating.
yeah. They
They
see
see
me
me
rolling,
rolling,
they
they
them
them
hating.
hating. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
and she's been taking it in stride. Like she's like, I just look
yeah,
at my royalty checks. That's how I don't
yeah,
know how you sleep at night or how you can feel. Oh, I just look at my royalty checks. That makes me feel better.
because what she's literally a billionaire, right?
Oh yeah, she's
Yeah,
like one of the richest people in England, in the
fuck,
UK. Yeah, I think she has like a couple of castles and shit. Like, yeah,
yeah, become uncancelable, right?
yeah,
That's
exactly. Yeah, she's got literal fuck you pounds.
how dare you not want to see penises in the ladies' locker room?
Yeah, exactly. Transphobe, you're doing real harm, real world harm. Uh-huh. It's a Gundam has a really good take on it. This is the definition of first world problems. That you get upset over a game because of your interpretation of the creator of the lore um, having transphobic views. Like that's nothing but a first world problem. And you're trying to do this
Yeah,
boycott campaign, and it's going nowhere. It's being downloaded even more. You're trying to do this like shaming campaign for anybody who streams it, and they're getting millions of views on Twitch. Like, come on, just give up. You
yeah,
lost. You've lost. Okay, you've lost.
like, and again, right? They just sort of decide what transphobia is. People have legit concerns about certain things, and no, all of it's just transphobia. So
Yeah.
okay, fine, fuck you. I'm transphobic. Now what?
Uh,
And
my
there's
my
even
um my best response to people who like get all like um, priggish about their moral cause du jour is just shut up, faggot. Like, just tell them that you don't care what they think. You don't care
right.
what they think so much that you're willing to use the most transgressive language to get them to leave you alone. And yeah, okay, someone will try and say, "You can't say that word." I'll say whatever the fuck I want. Shut up, faggot.
I can
Like,
say whatever I want, retard.
yeah, you're not just a faggot. You're a retarded faggot. But anyway,
Well, no, there's even a trans character in the game, right? Which I don't know
yeah,
if it was
Serona.
thrown in. Yeah, Serona Ryan, and people are mad about it because the name starts with Sir,
Yeah,
and apparent if you take the last letter of the first name and just shove it over
yeah.
to the last name, it says Aryan.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, no, and the thing is, it's really weird. I was watching a playthrough of it today. And so Sarona's like she keeps the bar in like hog's meat or whatever, the three broomsticks, whatever the fuck it is.
Sure, sure.
And it's like it's modeled to look like a frumpy woman, right? With smaller, not like she's kind of a heavy set woman, but her
Mhm.
breasts don't match that she's heavy set. They're
Okay.
they're clearly, you know, um, male hormone breasts, not like they were made. You know what I mean? They're not full of silicone. So she's got that kind of situation going on, and she has a male voice. And I'm like, wait a second, you're in a world of wizards and witches. Couldn't you use a glamour to make yourself look like a more like a woman and make yourself sound more feminine? Doesn't that make sense? Wouldn't that make sense?
God, the memes.
Excuse me. Sorry, that's your stream and I burped in it again. I think I did that last time.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry.
It doesn't matter.
Casual
No
AF.
preparation.
It's
Casual.
casual AF.
No
I'm being
prep.
very casual.
No professionalism. We're good.
But
So
yeah, it
anyway,
looks like a good game. I probably won't download it because I'm not much of a video gamer. You been playing anything decent lately?
I actually went back to Civilization 6 lately.
Oh, you mentioned that a while back.
Yeah. I found this thing. It's like a plugin that can give you cheats for like something like 100 games, 150 games.
Oh wow, cool.
It just you run it in the background and you can turn them on and off as you're playing.
Yeah,
It's pretty neat. It's called WeMod. It's pretty fun if you get the
cool.
opportunity. Because like I don't always have a lot of time for video games, so when
Yeah,
I do play them, I don't necessarily want them to be super challenging. I'm trying to relax.
yeah.
So being able to cheat a little bit every now and then is pretty handy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I like. I still go back to Skyrim every now and again. I just love the game.
Mm.
And I've never even done the full like the main quest.
Yeah, me neither.
I've done lots of side quests. I've done lots of exploration. The only thing is like what I find is there's a chest in Dawnstar. I think it was Dawnstar.
Yeah.
You go to Dawnstar, there's a hidden chest. It's these Khajiit's sort of inventory chest, and it's hidden behind next to like a cave entrance, like a mine entrance,
Yeah,
and
you
it's
gotta
under
like
the
look at the
ground. But
floor or
you
something.
can
Yeah.
access it without like clipping through. You just walk up to it and you can see it, right? And if you go at the right time, you'll get everything that's in there for free. And the problem with that is if you do that, you're getting lots of really you know, powerful magic items. You're getting lots of gold, like high value gold items, high gold value items, I should say. And after you've done that, it's kind of like I don't need to grind for anything because I've got all the shit I need for to buy whatever armor I want, to make whatever armor I want. And I'm like,
It doesn't help you skill up, but for
no,
people who have played before,
yeah, it
it
helps
is
to get a
just an
nice
easy
boost.
little
Yeah,
boost to get, right?
boost of cash and a boost of extra shit. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I used to do it just to like disenchant items so I could put new enchantments on the shit I have,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, there used to be one in Whiterun as well that was a little tricky to get at, but I think they fixed the glitch so you can't
yeah, there's a few
get
chests in
off the map
Whiterun that
now.
you can get to by clipping through outside the walls.
Yeah, but I think they fixed it.
Oh, did they? This
Yeah, that
makes
they
sense. They should have. They should have made it impossible to clip through.
but, if the Dawnstar one is still there, I'm sure it's left on purpose literally for that
Yeah,
players who have played before. Go ahead. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Even in the later editions, because I got the special edition with all the extra crap, and it's still there.
Good, good.
So yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
What's going on with folks in the chat? I wonder. Uncle Jeezy
oh,
says I
there
shouldn't rub my eyes. It's almost always how people get sick. Yeah, no doubt. Uh, I'm I don't really get sick very often, so arrested for
Did you
genders too.
did you, did you hear about this?
In Halton District?
Toronto Catholic School Board kid?
Oh, was it Toronto? I thought it was Halton Catholic School Board.
Oh, okay. Maybe it
Maybe
was, but yeah.
I know the big booby prosthetic teachers in Halton Public School
Yeah,
Board.
no,
This is in
th
Toronto?
I think it was, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. I have to recheck the article, but, yeah, it's definitely, like it's not like some weird middle of nowhere place in Canada.
Yeah.
It's, like, tops an hour from me.
Yeah.
Uh, so but yeah, having a conversation about it, and the kid just says in his high school class, "Look, I don't think gender trumps biology. I think there's two genders. That's that.
In a
And
Catholic school, no less.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
Catholic school. And the next day, not only is he served with suspension, they had called police to come and arrest him,
For
and he was
what?
taken away. I don't fucking know.
For trespass?
No, for the thing he had said.
You can't arrest people for words in Canada, not yet.
No, apparently you can.
Yeah, it's fucking gay.
Uh,
I can't
yeah,
believe the cops would actually honor that, would actually come and do that. But I mean, fuck, it's Canada. We're practically Britain now, in terms of like, we have police here. Hey, you got a license for that opinion? You know, people. Oh, you can't say that. Well, fuck you. I said it. Well, you're going to be fined. I'll ignore it. Well, you're going to have your wages garnished. I'll go live in the woods. I mean, it's clear that I don't belong in this society anymore anyway.
yeah.
So, do what you want.
This is part of the reason that you're having those nightmares about the future because like it's
Probably.
happening
Yeah,
now.
I'm seeing Western civilization collapse at the hands of the people who are meant to safeguard it. Our politicians, our leaders, our judiciary. It's absolutely fucking. It's horrifying and depressing at the same time.
Now, that's a name I haven't seen in some time.
Seamus Derby.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, been a while.
I'm not
And
familiar with Seamus Derby.
yeah,
I don't know where Seamus.
when I was regular, I had regulars, right?
Yeah.
It was when I started becoming very irregular and not posting for like a fucking year. That's when.
Yeah, what are you gonna do to remedy that? You got to start posting more videos, man.
Yeah, think about it.
There's so much to talk about. Can't just
Yeah,
leave it to
apparently.
once a week. I guess you could. I mean, if all you want to do would just be a streaming channel, you could do that.
I mean,
I
that's what we've
seldom
been
post
doing,
shit
right?
anymore. The only reason I post stuff is because I'm in the car, I'm by myself with the dog, and I'm like, I'm gonna let my thoughts get out there on the air.
See, where if I tried that, I'd just be fucking yelling at the fucking
I've done that a few
What
times.
the fuck? I get it all out in the car ride.
Sucking the baby dicks. I think we lost a few people when you started doing that last week. Like, what
Did
the
we
fuck
really?
is he talking about?
Hey, look, if it upsets them, it wasn't me that upset them.
No, I just think they weren't expecting to hear it. That's all.
Yeah, well, it was oddities. You were warned.
Yeah, true. Oh, my
Uh,
political career is over because you started talking about moils and brisses.
it's hygienic, God said. Now,
Yeah, exactly. God said. God said a
but
lot of things.
yeah. But what's funny is a few years ago, could be quite a few years now, I actually tried to have a conversation with a guy. Was his name Liberal Sanity Project, maybe?
Sounds familiar.
And yeah, Weibo Jones hosted us
Oh, okay. Yeah.
with that whole thing about how there's no like federal uh human rights tribunal, right? But the one that was coming is going to be modeled after the Ontario Human Rights Commission and Tribunal and all that.
Right.
And yeah, that like people are going to be arrested for misgendering, and this was after C16 obviously, right?
Yeah.
And the guy's thing was like, look, it's not happening. It's like, okay, that's like, because he came with the idea that it's a debate, even though I said I don't do debates. We can have a conversation if you want, right? But I'm not going to debate. So he's very like in this debate mode during the conversation, and his whole thing is like, it's not happening. People aren't being arrested. I was like, yeah, maybe they aren't right now, but this thing creates a framework where they could be, right? And that shouldn't
Yeah.
exist. You shouldn't have a framework where a high school student can get arrested in a Catholic school for saying there's only two genders.
Right.
Now, that wasn't an actual talking point at the time, because who the fuck saw that one coming? But he's like, oh, how long? How long do you think until it's like, I don't know, maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
And now there's that dad out in BC who is in prison
Yeah.
for refusing to call his daughter a boy.
Yeah.
right? And a high school kid in Toronto has now been arrested for saying there's only two genders,
Yeah.
right? And I don't like shit.
Costin's thirsty for C-Mac.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm like, if I were ever brought up on something where the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal, um, I would probably just tell them to go fuck themselves. I don't recognize your authority. Send the cops to come arrest me if you want. I'm not
I'm
coming to
not
you.
questioning your authority. I'm outright denying its existence.
That's right, exactly. I'm not questioning your authority. It simply doesn't exist. I don't care. You don't comport with any tradition of English common law. You shouldn't even exist. The fact that my tax dollars go to support your operation is insulting and irritating to me. And if I could disassemble your entire operation with like nanobots, I would just basically send nanobots to disassemble all the buildings, all the chairs, all your offices. Yeah.
Yeah, just eat it. Uh, so Seamus had taken an extended hiatus from the internet, was out in the woods living off grid for a while. Still am, just happened to be in town. Wow,
Oh
thanks
wow,
for coming.
awesome, Seamus! You got to tell us
Yeah,
about that, man, because this is the dream that us suburbanite slobs all have.
yeah.
There's a reason why my feed is full of bushcraft videos and off-grid living videos. I have a very, I'll never convince the wife to do it. She's used to her creature comforts, but I keep saying to her, you know what? Like, I don't want to burst your bubble, but eventually this is gonna have to happen. Like, cause I don't know about you, but things are gonna get bad here, and you're not gonna want to be here.
Do notice too that his profile pic is in fact an
And
MRE
MRE.
beer with cigarette flavor.
Beer with cigarette. I do too. Beer with cigarettes. Nice.
Oh yeah, and of course UFOs. But don't worry, they're just Chinese or Canadian balloons mostly.
Sure they are. UAPs, I think is what they're calling them now. I don't know why. I like UFOs. I don't know why they changed to UAPs.
Because there's no longer any capacity to deny their existence, so they have to change the terminology to make it sound more technical rather than we lied to you the whole time.
But unidentified flying object is a technical term anyway. It's just, I guess, there's so much connotation surrounding it. So now it's
Well, no,
unidentified aerial phenomena.
it would be an admission that they've been lying the whole time. They've
Sure,
known
sure.
since
They have
what is
been.
it,
They have been.
47, right?
They admitted that they've been lying the whole time. Um, Yeah, but the thing about that I don't like about unidentified aerial phenomena is because that could be a strange cloud formation that they can't quite identify. It doesn't fall in any of the classifications for cloud formation, so they're saying this is unidentified aerial phenomena. Like that's clearly a fucking cloud. UFO is better. It's a flying object.
True, true. What do I need to do? This, yeah. Uh,
I
I still
apologize if I haven't already. I apologize for my hair tonight, guys.
don't apologize for your hair.
Ridiculous looking. I look like a
It's like
puppet
a
that doesn't care enough.
yeah. From one side, it's a faux hawk. From the other side, it's just cool bedhead.
Yeah. Whatever. Good thing
Where were we?
C-Mac's out here. I feel really embarrassed. Hot redhead in the chat with really bad hair. I'd be sitting here with really bad hair. I feel really bad. Feel like a goof. Ugh. Don't worry, I do have radio, and the fear of balloons from China is overblown. They have spy satellites. People are stupid. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but still, I'm sure there's things you could do with lower altitude balloons and different bits of information you could
Yeah,
more easily collect,
my
right?
understanding is they were using them to pick up on actual communications, like local communications over radio waves, right?
Mm.
It's your hair that should apologize for you, Costin.
This guy.
I know, eh? Fucking guy. Ugh.
Where were we?
I don't know.
Gender arrests.
Oh yeah, gender arrests. Yeah, no, like Rights Tribunal of Ontario. They called me up and said, no, thanks. Oh, sir, this isn't optional. Oh, really? So when are they coming? Who? The cops, because I'm not coming to you willingly.
Yeah.
You have to arrest me. Come and arrest me if you want me to come talk to you. And the whole time, I'll just be sitting there across from you saying, go fuck yourself. So I don't know what the point of this is. Well, we're going to
Yeah.
charge you and fine you, and so charge me and fine me.
Eh,
See how you get your money.
Oddly, I don't have any contact with that liberal sanity project guy that I debated oh so long ago.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't really even have much contact with Weibo anymore. No animosity or anything. We just sort of drifted back to our own little circles and shit. But yeah,
I'm
I'd like
still
to
friends
know.
with her on Discord, I think, but I hardly
Yeah,
ever go on Discord. So
yeah, same here, right? But I'd just like to know. Well, liberal sanity project.
what do you think?
Well,
Well, you got to know what he said was terrible. Really? What he said was in a cat. That's the thing that drives me buggy. Like the Catholic school board. My nephew goes to a Catholic school, and they have the 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 optimized rainbow flag hanging in front of the school. I'm like,
man,
you're a Catholic school, and you're embracing this clearly sinful, satanic nonsense.
didn't
Well, I knew
the,
Catholics
the
were Satanists anyway to begin with.
didn't the
So,
previous pope write a whole book and say don't publish it till after I'm dead?
who? Which
And now it's
Ratzinger?
out. What's that?
Is that Ratzinger?
No. Wait, prior to him, Benedict,
Benedict. Okay.
maybe. Basically saying, yeah, the whole institution is collapsing because no one's actually doing anything that's Catholic anymore, right? And that's basically the gist of the
It's
book,
true.
from what I understood.
It's true.
But he didn't want to be bothered in life, so yeah.
Well,
Okay, so
the current pope is woke as fuck too.
yeah, which isn't like a thing that's Catholic. Like, I don't know if you know this, Jesus wasn't exactly the most tolerant guy, nor should he have been.
No,
Uh,
he was principled. You can either be
yeah,
tolerant or you can be principled, right?
Wendigos are real. See,
Okay, now
this
I know. So now, did you see a Wendigo after you ate human flesh? Were you looking in a mirror? No, just
because look, skinwalkers is like the only thing that scares me.
really.
Yeah, right.
I'm
The
trying to
only
think
thing
what
that keeps
scares me. I'm gonna get real personal now. You know what scares me? The idea of having a stroke and living like my mom did in the
oof,
last few months of her life.
yikes.
That would that would brutalize me. I would I don't know if I'd have the strength to keep going on. I'll be
Sorry,
honest.
I meant like the only thing that's like supposedly supernatural and not real. It's like other shit doesn't scare me. I'm not worried about like vampires. I'm not worried about,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
ghosts. But like a skinwalker, a fucking Wendigo, right? Even
Yeah.
if those other things are real, it's like I know how to fight that. If there's fucking actual skinwalkers out there, it's like you know that's like you know how hard that would be
Leave
to
the
fight.
property. Yeah, just leave.
God, the
Give it
only
up.
thing
Belongs to them now.
I spend too much time on the paranormal board over on 4chan. And yeah, when I'm reading the stories, and I don't know why I read them, they scare me to fucking death. I can't fucking sleep after I read them. But I'll read stories about skinwalkers and people's encounters with skinwalkers and shit.
Yeah.
The one thing I noticed that seems to track all through every story, no one is ever with their dog. You don't encounter skinwalkers when you're with your dog. So
They're
either
afraid of
skinwalkers
cats.
are
They're afraid of
what's
dogs.
that?
Like they're afraid of dogs. Like sleepwalkers are afraid of cats.
I guess maybe. Like, well, that's one side of it. They could be terrified of dogs
Yeah.
and don't go near them. Or if you keep a dog, they're like, no, that guy's all right, and they just move on. Like they like dogs so much, if that dog likes you, you're cool, and they won't kill you.
Wasn't there one of the stories from Skinwalker Ranch that the dogs were going nuts because they sent something outside? They had dogs on the
Oh,
property.
sure, but it doesn't have to be skinwalkers that would set them off. It could be coyotes. It could be a fucking bear. Even if it's prey animals like deer or moose
Yeah,
nearby.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
No, it's just they attributed it to part of the Skinwalker phenomenon, right? So, but who knows?
Eh.
Fetterman had a stroke. Yeah, I know. and now he's what?
Again.
Now he's what? Like a governor? There's hope for me. No. No, it's just the way my mom lived the last few months of her life. It was painful to watch, and I'm just like, and now I've got this thing in my neck, and it's making, and she had a thing in her neck, and that's what caused her stroke, and it's making me think, fuck, it's gonna happen to me. I have a pain in my throat. I've had this pain in my throat for a couple months now. I swallow and it hurts. I burp, it hurts. I sing, it hurts, and I get pain behind my ear and in my jaw. I'm like, there's something going on here. So I have an appointment with an ENT in March, but and I'm sure it's going to be nothing. But for whatever reason, I'm thinking, fuck, I've got something going on here that's more serious than I imagine. Than it's not serious. You know what I mean? But who knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had that kind of like an infection in the gland there, and with
Yeah,
the allergies that I have, like the way I don't get eyes and nose problems, it's
yeah,
all throat and ear. So when I didn't know, yeah, that gland would swell up real bad, would be pressing against the jaw, the ear starts oozing pus, and the doctor's like, "Yeah, I know you have seasonal allergies." I was like, "Fuck you." What do you mean allergies?
yeah.
Right? I'm not
Well,
sneezing. My
if
head.
that were all it is, you know what? I'll take a fucking Benylin and see if it clears it up. But I don't think that's what it is. I think it's something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'll find out. It could be something dental for all I know. I could have like some
Mhm.
deep root cavity or something like that that's like causing me pain and swelling, and it's yeah, who knows?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, all that area from the gland in the throat there up into the ear, that's all connected, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like one infection either place and it all just goes to shit.
yeah.
So hopefully it's yeah, something
Something
very
pretty
treatable.
minor. Yeah. Let's hope. I did get the jab though, so you never know, right? So
Shit. Worshipping the old god seems to keep them away. That would be the skinwalkers. Right? That and the German shepherds. Yeah, see? Dogs. Told you, man.
you like dags? What? You like dags? Dags. You like dags? Oh, dogs. Yeah, dags.
Great film, that.
Yeah. Ugh. Supernatural? Well, I don't believe in it, so nothing of it scares me. I mean, I
Exactly.
will say I've watched like those ghost videos about hauntings and shit like that,
Sure, sure.
and they make your skin crawl a little bit. But I know that that's just a reaction to the media. I don't actually believe in ghosts, um, but who knows? Maybe there is such a thing.
Yeah, and I mean, like I say, I don't believe in skinwalkers. There's no such thing as skinwalkers. But then,
We're real.
yeah, still, and then I read those stories and I can't sleep.
I watched Communion a while back with the. You ever seen Communion with
No,
what's his name? Christopher Walken. It's
no,
about Whitley Strieber. He's the author of the book Communion. It's about Whitley Strieber's experience with an alien encounter at his house in like the wilderness. He's got like a cabin out
sure,
there,
sure,
and this is I don't know when it actually happened. Basically, he's built his career. He was a writer before this experience, and after this experience, he changed course and started writing exclusively about alien encounters, alien abductions, that kind of thing, right? And and I remember the first time I watched it. One of the scenes is when he first sees like one of the gray type aliens, and it freaked me the fuck out when I first saw it. And when I recently rewatched it, I was prepared for it, like, oh, I'm gonna get freaked out again. But then when I saw it again, I'm like, okay, it's not that freaky. I mean, it's freaky looking, make no mistake, but it wasn't that freaky. You know what I mean?
right.
Anyway, it's worth watching. It's simply for the Christopher Walken performance. He's great in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's a good dude.
he is. Yeah, he's the kind of guy I think I'd like to, meet in a non like convention type setting. Like if I were to
Right.
bump into him at like a hotel bar, and it's
Just
oh
grab a
man,
beer,
really love you,
water.
and he's there, and he's not there with like an entourage, or he's not doing anything. He just happens to be at the bar having a drink. I'd love to sit down and have a drink with him. and just chat. And I wouldn't even be like a fawning fan saying, I love doing this. I love doing I just fucking talk to him and listen to what he has to say, you know?
Come
Come
spend a
spend a
month
month
in the woods in
in a
rural
rural
New
New
England
England
on a
on a
homestead.
homestead. The spirits will be around. So where in New England? Are you like New Hampshire area or Vermont or what?
And is it spirits or is it more like fairy folk? 'Cause apparently that's a thing.
Not here in North America. They're all over in the UK.
Uh,
We didn't get them.
we don't have circular mushroom patches.
That's right. I remember writing a story a while back in college about a guy who was like a wizard, but he was like a really low rent type of like John Constantine type of wizard. He was
Sure.
actually a druid, right? And he needed to get to the fairy realm, so he went while he's on the road. He went with his like group of adventurers, right? And he goes into like a supermarket and he picks up one of those cellophane packages of mushrooms, and he just goes out into a field near the woods off the side of the highway, and he spreads them in a circle because he needs to get to the fairy realms. And sure enough, moonlight comes, and then the fucking fairy realm turns into this giant mound, and he just walks into the mound and visits the fairy realms. It was just, it's very Constantine esque, like very like,
Yeah. Low
yeah,
rent, but effective.
yeah, exactly. He knows how to do the shit. He's just like he doesn't get involved in all the circumstance and the pomp and the ceremony and stuff. He's just like,
The way you're describing it, I'm picturing him. He's not putting them down in a circle. He just opens the package and
he
spills them
spreads it
out.
out in a circle. Yeah, he spreads it out in a circle. Just it makes a rough circle. It's a circular enough that it opens a mound into the fairy realm.
Tosses the package into the ditch.
Because no, he's a druid. He's very environmentally conscious, right?
I
He's
see.
got
I
a
see.
he's got an old Winnebago, but it's electrical. It runs on electricity. But the thing is, it's not a battery that he uses to power it. He actually captured a lightning elemental and put it in a jar, and that's what powers it. So
Lightning in a bottle.
yeah,
Clever.
lightning elemental, like a little tiny lightning elemental, and he keeps it in a bottle under the hood, and it keeps his thing running. New Hampshire on the Vermont border, and we do have mushroom circles. Of course, you do. If something wood rots and it's circular in shape, it'll form a circle. It'll form a circle of mushroom. Did you ever go to the fairy realms?
Here we call them gay bars.
The keepers. Oh shit.
Oh, and do you remember way back when, since we had brought up my rampant anti-Semitism, I had
Yes,
tried to make up some anti-Semitism where I was like, there are no Jews, there are only skinwalkers.
I think I do.
Turns out that's a thing.
What do you mean
That
that's
is
a thing?
yes, it's way down the like deep into the conspiracy hole. But yeah, there's like, no, they're skinwalkers, man.
They have horns too?
Uh, I
Okay,
imagine
Borat. There
they
you
can
see
clean
the
shave.
Jew with the horns. Yeah, you see the horns. He's got the horns. The Jew has the horns. Fucking hell.
Oh,
Ugh. Yeah, I mean, I think if you go anywhere, you're going to find conspiracies about Jews. I'm sure they're all over X. I know X is supposed to be a non-political board, but I'm sure there's somebody who's posted something on X about Jews.
well, I mean, X does also involve like mythologies and modern religion as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
if people are supposed to be a people chosen by a mythological figure like God, then yeah, they'll pop up every once in a while, sure.
yeah. X isn't a bad board. I still like Poll
Yeah, Pole's hilarious, man.
just for the memes.
Oh,
Yeah, I want to, Seamus. New Hampshire is one of the states where if I were gonna relocate to the United States, New Hampshire would be one of them that I would choose, simply because of the strong libertarian presence. And I know that it's not full of libertarians, but I know they're trying to make headway there. And I, you know,
Well, doesn't
We
their
walk a
license plate
similar path, the libertarians and I.
hmm, doesn't their license plate say "Live free or die"?
That's right. That's their state motto: "Live free or die." Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
that's cool, man. I'm glad you're living the dream. You're literally living the dream,
yeah.
Seamus.
No, I keep saying it, but it just ain't true, homie. It just ain't
Now,
true.
I wonder is if he's out there on his own, or if he's living there with a partner or a loved one or family or what.
Ah,
And if he is, why aren't you making YouTube content? I need to watch your YouTube content. I watch a lot of people going off grid and doing bushcraft and stuff, and it's like every time I watch, I'm like, okay, so now I know how to lay down a stone foundation wall because I've seen it now on YouTube. Like the amount of work that people put into these shelters, and they're not just little lean-tos. They put in together like full-on houses made out of like
yeah,
stone and wood that they just gathered from the forest. I guess if you're just doing that and you have nothing but time to do that, then you could you make some pretty good product. You can be pretty productive.
yeah. And
Most
I
of
mean,
us
if,
we have to work jobs and shit. So
of course, if you aren't productive, then you die.
there's that. There's that.
So yeah, just wanted to share a thing here.
What the fuck am I looking at? Oh, there you go. That's who made that. That's awesome.
No idea, but yes, it is fucking awesome. Compliance is sexy. All right, you will own nothing, you'll be happy. Was that Roach Crunch cereal and soy gulp? If you look on the tent in the background there, it says 1,500 a month rent.
Oh, God.
And what's really funny is I've titled it the future they want, but it's not the future. Like this really isn't that far off of the way a lot of people are living right now. Like it's
It's true.
fucking gross.
Those buildings don't look super futuristic, so you're right. It's not the future. It's not that far in the future.
Like
I
fuck.
like how he's got what is it like 5 plus a cross band-aid, 6 jabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one in the brain.
Does he have a septum ring? I can't quite tell.
Doesn't Yes, he does. Yeah. Of
There you
course he
go. I
does.
see.
And
I see the
space is
nipple
one of
ring.
them. What's that?
I see the nipple ring. I wasn't sure if there was a
Yeah.
septum ring. And gauges. He's got ear gauges.
Yeah, but they want you, sick and broke and hooked up to a false reality
Yeah.
because almost everyone in this picture has their fucking VR headset on.
That reminds me of there's an art book called shit. I want to say Electric City. The Electric City.
That sounds familiar, actually.
It's the same guy who did Tales from the Loop.
Okay.
He did an art book that was basically very similar in tone and the way things looked, but it was all about people have these VR helmet things on, and I guess there's like some catastrophic event, and everybody hooked up to the VR, they couldn't they just went into like a coma and they couldn't take them off. They were stuck in the VR, and so like all throughout the landscape, it's littered with people like corpses with these fucking VR helmets on. They just died. They died from starvation and exhaustion. They
Jesus.
didn't realize that, they got, I think the virus infected their mind so they thought it was reality and they had no reason to take it off. They wouldn't feel hungry. They wouldn't feel thirsty, but they would ultimately, their bodies would just break down and die. It's not Electric City. I don't know. But the artwork is like stunning. It's really cool looking.
Yeah, no, like we're worried about the dystopian future. If you showed someone someone from North America or anywhere in the at the time modern world from say the 1950s, photo and video of the
Yeah.
same place today, they'd be fucking terrified.
Well, yeah. You take a look at photos of people on a beach back in the 1950s and 60s. There's not a fat person in sight. Everybody's
No.
relatively fit, right? Uh, yeah, it's crazy. No, Big fat piece of shit eating Oreo mega stuffs.
Well, I have these conversations with people because, I had lost a lot of weight before, kept most of it off for years and years now, right?
Yeah,
So people will occasionally ask me, oh, yeah, what about this? What about that? Well, there's this guy on the internet saying this and someone else is saying that. It's like, yeah, people are going to say all kinds of shit. But you know what? For thousands of years, no one was fat. So eat like they did for thousands of years before they started packaging everything. That's
yeah.
it.
Paleo
Like
diets.
that's really the simplest way.
Yeah, paleo diet's very popular, right? So
So even paleo, like prehistoric human. No, like during human history, where we have records of what people ate.
yeah,
Like it doesn't have to be paleo, but just has to be like get more like eat mixed foods, not
yeah,
out of a package. Right.
yeah,
General rule: if you have to open the cardboard or peel the cellophane, it's not good for you.
yeah.
Right. Try to eat as little of that as possible.
Well, Melina buys vegetables that are wrapped in cellophane
I
because
mean,
that's how they're sold. But I know what you're saying. Yeah,
well,
like
sure, and when I grab them fresh off the thing, I put them in a cellophane bag. That's not the same thing,
yeah,
though,
yeah, yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
yeah,
No, I
but
well,
yeah,
I have to say I'm lucky then because Melina's a great cook, and she cooks good meals that are like well balanced. I think she relies too much more on rice than I would like. Truth be told,
rice is cheap, bro.
I know, but I don't like it.
Oh,
I prefer potatoes, and I know they're probably worse for me, but I prefer potato.
not necessarily.
If I'm
Like,
going to eat starch, I'd rather have a mashed potato or a boiled potato, or even a baked potato than rice. I
I
just
was
find
gonna say,
the texture of rice drives me absolutely nuts. I hate it.
huh, yeah,
Unless you like fry it up. If you fry the rice, I'm all over it. But
yeah, like, yeah, I do fried rice meals quite a bit, along with pasta. Well, I mean, not at the same time, but
it's because there's flavor to it. Like the other rice here, like white rice, just white rice on the side doesn't taste good because it tastes like nothing, and it's that texture of these like thousands of tiny little fucking nodules of food in your mouth. I don't like it.
no, like I egg fry rice quite a
Oh,
bit,
that's good. I
you know.
love fried
Yeah,
rice. Seamus
yeah, and
says
like,
he still works for a living. Unfortunately. Oh, okay. So you live out there, but you still have a job that you go to. So is it like one of those things where you go there on the weekend and spend your weekends there, or are you there full time? You just commute to your job.
either way, it's better than nothing. But have you seen? I can't remember what it was called. The show about these fucking wild people. Was it Mountain Men? Maybe where they literally left the grid and they're like it's technically illegal what they're doing,
Yeah.
but no one bothers them because they're so far out in the wilderness that like they can't
Who's
really
gonna
be
go and
found.
charge them? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
And
like
besides,
they've built.
as long as they're not burning down the forest or causing problems for anybody else, then who cares?
Yeah, but like they've built cabins, they hunt and trap for a lot of their food, they grow
Where? Like
stuff that
in
grows.
Canada or
It is somewhere in the mountains, so I imagine it could be Canada and the United States because it has a
yeah,
lot to do with the Rockies, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like they grow as much cabbage and kale because they're tough ass fucking plants, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, hunting and trapping is like a full time job.
Yeah, no doubt.
Seamus lives
The
there
thing
full
is, like
time.
the whole idea behind like the whole Walden book, right? You're living deliberately, right? You're not doing something for the uh, output or the result of gaining money so you can live, right? So you're not doing a job to make money so you can buy the creature comforts that you need. Your job is literally living,
Yeah,
right? You're going out and you're procuring your own food, you're fixing your own shelter, you're taking care of providing your own medicine, right? Gathering your own water. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Fucking crazy. Oh,
I think we could all do it too, you know. We got enough land in Canada that if every household said, you know what, fuck the city, let's go buy 100 acres. We'll collect our money, collectively get our money, buy 100 acres, and go make ourselves like a commune of people who just plan on living in a little, 1 room or 2 room shack in the woods or in the wilderness, and we'll provide our own food via hunting and planting hardy vegetables, keeping chickens maybe, and we'll just make a self-sustaining community by trading with one another for the things that we have shortfalls of. So maybe you have a better run of, you put more time into your chickens, so you're getting much more of your eggs, and
Mm.
and whereas I said, fuck it, chickens are a pain in the ass, I'm going to do cabbages and broccolis or whatever, right? And so you and I trade, right?
Speaking of chickens, though,
Yeah.
did you hear about that one?
What?
Bunches of people suddenly their chickens aren't laying,
Yeah, yeah, I heard about this, and it was
and then they switched
they
from the
determined it was
commercial
the
feed.
feed. It was the feed,
Yep,
yeah. So they
and it was like
started
a
feeding
matter of
them like table scraps. They started feeding them like natural feed that they trusted, and they started producing eggs again. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And what was it? Was it in New Zealand? It's hard to keep track because there's been so many that like oh, there's avian flu. You got to kill a million laying
yeah. You
hens.
got to call your
Well,
herd, or call your flock,
this,
or whatever. Well, and
this
another chicken processing plant or like food
yeah,
just went up in flames again, like earlier this week or last week. I'm like,
yeah.
this is
That's it makes over 150 in the past 2 years, give or take.
yeah,
Food production plants.
yeah.
Don't want to call them
No, it's.
processors. They're
I
not all
mean, this
processed foods,
this
right?
is this is the WEF's plan, right? They're going to make food become so expensive and so scarce, followed by a cyber attack that leads to a world digital economic collapse. Then comes the Great Reset. Then comes everybody who had debt. Well, we can't forgive your debt, so we're just going to seize your property. And here, we've got a nice little pod for you to live in. And don't worry, we'll provide you with food. Here's the food. Yes, it's cricket based, but that's okay because crickets are delicious. Oh, no, 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 no. You can't have your car. No. Here's a bike. And if you work really hard and you behave yourself on social media, we'll get you an electric motor to put onto it so you can, give your legs a rest every now and again.
Ducks, chickens, goats, and sheep. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
You
that'll
will
keep you
see
fed.
animal products and seasonal fruits. Cool.
And I wouldn't be surprised to discover he's healthier than he's ever been. Feels more energetic and fit than he ever has.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a something that they knew like 800 years ago when the
Yep.
Mongols and Chinese were at war. That the Chinese were having so much trouble because the Mongols could camp really, really close in the night and they wouldn't know they were there because they didn't need fires because they would eat meat raw
Yeah.
and would drink, yeah, like raw milk, and it's horse's milk. They drink mare's milk
Oh,
and
wow.
different yogurts made from mare's milk, right?
Wow.
So they don't need to cook anything. While the Chinese soldiers were fed mostly a grain-based gruel, and they were half the size of the Mongol soldiers. They're weak, their teeth are rotting, and all this, right? And yeah, the Mongols could easily go 2 days without food and still have energy
Yeah.
because of the way that their diets were, right?
So they were Neanderthals. So Seamus says he has ducks, chicken, goats, and sheep, and he says I'm with a couple of friends. So he's not doing it solo. He's got people with him. That's cool.
Yeah,
Do they
smart.
have their own little cabins off grid as well, or is it
Sharing a
they're all
cabin.
in one big shack? I'm more fit than I was when I was 20 in the Marine Corps. We get a lot of former military in our streams, don't we?
Yeah, and I don't know why. Like, no offense, guys. I don't know what draws you here.
Yeah. Well, mine's called ammunition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's what it is. Even though we seldom, if ever, talk about guns.
What are you talking about? You talk about guns all the time.
That's true.
You can't shut up about
Mostly
guns.
airsoft guns lately because I really like airsoft. But I'm really excited for this Wild West trip. I really am. If you haven't, Seamus, you first time I've seen you on one of Irving's streams. But I play airsoft. I go to a place in Virginia called Ballahack, and it's run by a YouTuber called Swamp Sniper. He owns the place, and he's doing a Wild West event in March, and I'm going down there with my cowboy hat, my cowboy boots, my gun belt. I'm going to rent one of their guns because I don't want to deal with the hassle of trying to bring it back over the border.
Mm,
And yeah, I'm going to have myself a 2 day adventure in the Virginia swamp at Ballahack Airsoft. It's going to be a lot of fun. They have a longhouse for communal purposes, but we have our own shacks. That's cool. That's cool. Modern
yeah,
processed food is poison.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Like
so delicious.
it's just soy and sugar.
But you know what? I had Papa John's Philly cheesesteak pizza tonight. Fuck, that shit's good.
It's terrible. This guy convinced me to try Papa John's once. It's like,
Yeah, I
ah,
told
why?
you to get the Philly cheesesteak pizza, and you ended up getting some crazy, like, regular, normal pizza. I'm like, no, you got to go for the Philly cheesesteak pizza. You'll thank yourself.
It's just not good. It's not good. Oh,
You're just one of those Italian snobs. It's just
yeah, pretty
American
much.
pizza's not pizza.
Pretty much. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah. I know it's not pizza in the traditional sense, but fucking tasty. I don't eat that shit anymore, and I'm out here running ultra marathons now. Good for
Yeah.
you, man.
Yeah, like getting off like anything fast food and processed was the first big step. I had actually cut out sugar. This is how I discovered the problem with modern food was I learned sugar was probably the major culprit with why I had gained so much weight and was like, okay, no more sugar. And so every time I'm in the grocery store and I look at something, I'm reading the back, it's like, how much fucking sugar?
Yeah,
And literally everything is loaded with sugar
yep,
except the stuff that's produce and meat, like
yeah.
fresh produce and meat. Okay, that's I guess what I have to eat now. And it fucking worked. I lost 10 pounds in 10 days the first time I did this. Right. Uh, my sister, same way. She finally got on board a little while ago. She only lost 6 pounds in 10 days, but she was having her ladies' time. And so once that ended, she suddenly lost another 6 pounds.
Plus, women have a harder time losing weight than men do.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, right. And like I can't see them now. Put on a little bit back, right? But keep most of it off. But I was 36 years old and I could see my abs for the first time in like 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It was like, what the fuck? Who am I? Because it's the two things. I got out of the shower one day when I was 60 pounds overweight and hadn't noticed, and I saw something in the mirror jiggle. And I looked and I was like, who the fuck is that? Because I was always relatively lithe, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
somewhat athletic. And so I was like, what? And then go through the process takes a while, over 6 months, taking my shirt off and again seeing myself in the mirror, abs. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And it was just a wonderful experience.
That's awesome. So he says Seamus says we have a power line that runs through the property and we have a gun range on it. That's cool. That's cool. So we're gonna come for a visit, Seamus. Come hang out at your shack in the woods in New Hampshire.
I might come for asylum, so bear with me.
There you go. Thought you were going to Odessa for asylum.
Oh. Mm. No, yeah, like, being persecuted for my beliefs in Canada.
Yeah.
And we actually have this now. High school kid just got arrested for believing there's only two genders. Like,
I thought he was arrested because he was protesting at a library where they were doing a drag time story hour, drag queen story hour.
no, no, no. They were literally having a discussion in class.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
I can
he had
understand
to.
the suspension from class because they have their, it's like saying God isn't real at a Catholic school, right? Um,
Even that, I don't think they could suspend you for it.
yeah, maybe not,
Right.
but
Like,
go against the trans orthodoxy, and no, 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 no.
no, and it's ridiculous. Like, you haven't convinced me. Well, now you got to go to jail. Like that is what's happening with that.
Yeah.
There's I
No, we're living
remain
in
on.
a fucking clown world, Irving. They
Well,
froze the bank accounts of people who gave money to a protest.
they completely debanked Jeremy McKenzie. Held
I
on to
know.
his mortgage though.
Yeah, of course. They want that. They want that regular
Yeah.
monthly mortgage payment. Yeah. No, it's absolutely nonsense. Like, and you know what? The problem is, I live with a normie wife, so convincing her that we need to get the fuck out of here is like impossible.
Well, look. It took 500 years to get from Buddha
Yeah.
to Buddhism.
Okay.
Okay. Took over 300 years to
Yeah.
get from Christ to
Christianity.
Christianity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's only been about 75 years since Hitler.
Holy shit, man!
Gotta love Paul, man.
Give it time. Oh, fucking hell! Well, I'm glad this is your stream, not mine. Oh fuck!
What
I'm
was
still
the other thing?
hopeful. I'm still hopeful for a libertarian utopia at some point, but I know that's not likely.
Ah, yeah. Too many people. It's like dogs, right? For the most part, most dogs don't actually want to be the alpha, right?
Yeah,
They they just want to know their place in the packing order of
yeah,
the pack. Humans are like that too. Most of them do not want the burden of responsibility. And once they figure out where they belong in the pack, they're happy to stay there forever. So there's only a handful of people that actually want to be the leaders. The problem is half of them are psychopaths.
yeah. True. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm not talking about complete Ancapistan. I'm talking about like, you know, a minarchist setup, right? Where government
Yes.
exists, but exists in limited authority, and most everything else is done by the people for their own benefit with cooperation. Like, and you want to go off and live in the woods by yourself and never see another human being, you're free to do that, but you've got to be self sufficient. And the more you're going to rely on other people, the more you need to interact with them. In order to do that, you need
Mm.
to provide something to them of value. You can't
No, the
just
problem.
demand that the authorities give you some of their shit because you're having a hard time making ends meet. That's what we should be striving for, where
No,
you
yeah,
have to provide for yourself or provide something of value to someone else in order to get the things you need.
you're not wrong. The problem is filtering out the psychopaths from the positions who can start looking at you and saying, "How dare you be so discompassionate to a person who just needs food?" And then they put a gun to your head and take your food,
Yeah,
right? Like it's that guise of compassion and kindness
yeah,
that's basically just used to inflict cruelty through,
yeah.
the use of force to get what they want,
Well, that's why everyone's got to be armed. So when somebody says you have to give us your money to help this poor kid who needs to go to college, I can say, "Come and take it. Watch, fuck around and find out. You have to
float
give us.
around and
We have to
find
give
out.
us. You have to give us your chickens because he doesn't have enough eggs. Well, that's his fucking problem. If he has something that I want, I'll trade some of my eggs for what he has. But if all he did was like jerk off all day and not put in any work to provide for himself, he's got nothing I want. I don't want to watch him jerk off. So he better find somebody who wants to pay to watch him jerk off if he wants to get anything out of life.
See, one of the things that bugs me so much is all the same people that before the COVID baloney were shrieking about how capitalism is terrible and it's pure evil and oh, you know, corporations this, they were so 100% pro, same group of people, so pro the corporatist policies implemented during COVID that have now destroyed all of our money,
Yeah.
right? You know, made the rich significantly richer and the poor significantly poorer.
Yeah.
And it's like, see, look, you're fucking retarded. And they're like, no, it's capitalism. They still don't understand that they did it. This one, this one.
Yeah, but the one above that, one above that, Seamus makes a good point. Common law
Common
courts
law.
are the only way to contract law is the only law I recognize or even remotely justified. I think that the criminal law should exist, but it should be exist basically to to deal with people who violate other people's rights, and it should be evenly applied to even people in power. So if your rights are violated by the government, you should have just as much ability to sue the government as
Mm.
suing, the guy who fucking cut down the tree on your property. Um, no, it's yeah, but we don't have that. The problem is that the government has unlimited funds because they can go to court and pay for their lawyers with your money, right? So they don't make their own money; they got to
Yeah, and
steal it in order to.
isn't there some massive like corruption thing that people don't even recognize as corruption? That something like 80% of law firms in Canada are already on retainer to the government.
Is that right?
Something like that, something ridiculous. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So if you try to sue them, it's like there's so few people left to actually go work
It's a
for you,
conflict
and
of
they are
interest because they're on retainer already.
well, not even that. There's so few left, and the government already has most of the best ones,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So
No,
you're
but I mean,
always up
like you,
against
you go to a
an
law firm
army.
because hey, the government fucking shot my dog because it was barking. I want to sue them for whatever for fucking pain and suffering as well as loss of my dog. Oh, I can't. You can't hire this firm. We work for the government. We're on retainer with them. Find another firm.
Good evening, Ajax.
What happened to the stash becomes sentient escape at Irving Twin.
So it was the strangest thing. I woke up this morning, and I was aware of it. I was just aware it was there, and
Yeah.
I couldn't stop being aware of it. And then it was like, nope, I gotta get rid of it. Needs
Yeah,
to be.
run a comb through it. It feels better once you run a comb. Mine's not
No,
long
no,
enough to run a comb through it yet.
I'd been doing that basically like 3-4 times a day every day,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, no, just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I gotta grow this sucker out. I don't know how long I'm gonna grow it. The wife hates the beard. She hates it. But
Really,
this is
beard too?
what's that?
Because I know some women go like a beard. Some women like clean shaven. I've never known any woman to go mustache. Nice.
Well, what I've been doing when I grow my facial hair in the past is I'll trim the beard really, really close so it's just stubble, right?
Mm,
And I'll leave the soul patch and I'll leave the mustache a little longer. And I like that look and I think it looks good. And I think of all the beard configurations, I think it's the one the wife dislikes the least. But when I met her, I was wearing a goatee and she had no fucking problem with it. So I don't know what the problem is. It makes you look old. I'm like, honey, I am old. Like, it's not a big deal, but why you ageist? You know, I'm being old. Fuck, you're old too, honey. You're only a few years shorter, younger than me. So anyway,
oh,
no, I'm gonna grow it in. Like 1 year just before, like in the fall, I grew it out completely. I was like, it was a big bushy beard, and she really hated that, but I eventually got rid of it because I
mm,
started hating it too. It's just getting uncomfortable.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if anyone were to go back through my video catalog, you'll see that I'm probably mostly clean shaven or a little stubble, and I'll
Yeah,
have occasional facial hair for like a video or two, and then it's gone. Like
yeah.
I don't know if I get bored or sick of it or what, but it's just like, nah, clean shaven. That's just the way to go.
Yeah. Well, I've always been of the mind, my body, my choice. The weird thing is that Melina's got this point of view. Is like, well, you obviously don't care what I think. I'm like, yeah, I do care what you think, but ultimately it's my choice because it's my face. So I should be able to decide what I wear on my face. You don't get it. I'm like, no, I think it's you who doesn't get it. Like, if you said that all of a sudden you wanted to dye your hair blonde, even if I don't like it, I don't have any say because it's your hair. If you want to dye it blonde, go ahead and dye it blonde. But I don't know. She doesn't see it. I think full beard is good too, but it does get irritating, especially in the summer. It starts to get hot, irritating.
I was gonna say, if you're living off grid in New Hampshire, a full beard is just another tool to keep warm, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Who
yeah.
needs a scarf? My beard covers my neck. There you go.
When I was a kid, I worked in a freezer, like picking orders, right?
Yeah,
And I'm babyface 18 or 19 years old.
yeah,
All these guys there have just every one of them this full monstrous beard because you're on the end rider going straight into the wind in minus 26, and it's just at like what 30 kilometers per hour the little end rider will
yeah,
go. Holy fuck. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Well, you definitely notice it when you've worn a beard for a while and you shave it off. You notice every little breeze like immediately
Yeah.
afterwards. Yeah, it's really something.
Squid.
Squid's in. Hey, Squid. Good to see you. What else you want to talk about apart from like kids being arrested for speaking their mind?
We already covered Jews as much as YouTube will allow.
Funny.
Made the Hitler joke. What
Yeah.
else? What else? What else is going on?
Trying to think.
Yeah, some weird shit
Talk
happened in
briefly about
Canada.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Everything's sort of in a holding pattern from my point of view. I'm waiting for the other fucking foot to drop.
Yeah, thing is, the shoe's going to drop real slow over the next decade. That's, I think,
No, no,
really.
no, no. It's not. It's going to
You
be
don't
in the
think?
next year. I'm telling you right now. In the next year, you're not going to recognize the world, and you're going to say, "Holy shit! Remember that time we were talking about this, and I said it was 10 years, and you said it was going to be a year, and I was like, nah." It's happening the next year, Irving. It's happening quicker than we might think. Go and watch my video from today.
You're thinking a single like
No, no,
or or
it'll be a
quick
series of
series.
things, but it will
Yeah,
amount to a complete change in the world we live in, and it'll
where
happen in short order.
I'm thinking more like the slower but steady decline, like the Weimar Republic
Hmm.
after the First World War,
Hmm.
right? Where just over the next decade, everything is going to get steadily worse because everything is in the hands of the, degenerate progressives.
Yeah.
And
No, here's the thing, though. I think it's going to happen quicker because there are people in positions of power who have made it their goal to make it happen more quickly.
mm,
So, and so they're going to like push for it. They're going to be pushing for it. Things are going to be changing very quickly, relatively quickly. I shouldn't say it's like snap. That's the moment. It'll be like, holy shit, I don't recognize the world in 2024 from what it was in 2023 or 2022.
see, but I already don't recognize it from, let's say, 2016.
Yeah, but you're still
Right.
employed. You still live in a home things are going to be much
Yeah,
different.
but here's the marker that I'm noticing that nobody else seems to pick up on, right? Like every once in a while, I get a flyer in my mailbox that says another house in your area just sold for $1.1 million. You could sell your house, and it's like, okay, then where the fuck am I going to live? Because
Right.
all the houses are costing that. It's not like, and that was the problem. One of the first problems with the Weimar Republic is people who had bought a house before the war, after the war, a couple years later, were like, my house is worth 3, 4 times what I paid for it. I'm rich.
Yeah.
Sold their house. And the next thing they know, they're dirt poor because the money isn't buying them anything anymore. But
Right.
they didn't make that correlation, and people are like, "Oh, look at the housing market; it's so great." And no, it fucking isn't. This
Yeah.
is so horrifically dangerous that 10 years from now, when someone's offering me 20 million for my house, but a loaf of bread costs $32, right? Like
Yeah.
a dozen eggs, $60. It's like that's not a good deal,
Yeah. No,
right?
no. So what you do is if you're in the market to sell your house, you don't buy another house. You go in the fucking woods like Seamus and you live off grid. You take that money to buy a little hunk of just a couple of acres is all you need in the middle of nowhere. Get some chickens, get a goat, build from the shit that you find on the land. If you find a place that's partially wooded, build your own little log cabin and never work again because the money you have in the bank, while it's not as valuable as it used to be, is enough for you to like pay for things that you can't procure yourself. Pay your taxes if you need to pay taxes. Um, pay to have electricity run from the line that's at the road. But if you get yourself Starlink and you get yourself a decent solar panel set up and you get yourself a little wind turbine, you probably don't even need to be hooked up to the power.
Mm.
So if you like eggs, you'll have lots of eggs. Tim Pool constantly talks about how they have probably like a dozen or so chickens.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have more eggs than they could ever use. Like we have so
right.
many eggs, we don't know what to do with them. So
Got to learn how to grow fucking rice,
yeah, there you go. Egg fried
rice
rice.
and eggs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
egg fried rice. There you go.
Oh, yeah. You got to remember like the shock tests that they do. These people that are trying to push this crap, like the shock test ultimately failed, demanding everybody get jabbed or you're not going to or you can't work anymore, right? There
Yep.
was, you know,
Yep.
they still call it a free dumb convoy, but it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
guess what? That's why people aren't starving to death because they're not getting medical treatment, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, so the pushback was enough that if they tried it again in a year or two, I
Yeah.
don't think it would work out the way they want it to.
Who tried what again? You mean the Freedom
Like
Convoy?
a WEF tried to
Oh yeah, yeah.
collapse
That's why
it's
they're
not going to
pushing
work
so
out.
hard now. That's why they're pushing so hard now because they realize that there's no hiding it anymore. It's out in the open, so they may as well just
Mhm.
push forward with their agenda, try and do it. And every time I talk to my normie friends, they're like, they'll never succeed though. I'm like, it's not a matter of them whether they're not going to be able to succeed. It's the misery they're going to cause and the changes they're going to make to our lives in attempting it. And that's what going to make people's lives miserable. That's what's going to cause the suffering. And then the Overton window shifts to a point where we're just accepting shit that we never would have accepted 10 years ago because of how aggressively things were moved in such a short order of time. Seamus says, how do empires and countries collapse at first very slowly and then very fast? We have been on the decline for nearly a century. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily a century, but we've been on the decline for a good long time. Yeah, a good long time. And like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, I got my 22. I can hunt squirrel. I can hunt rabbit.
Oh.
Sorry for the black pill, folks.
Oh yeah, no. You're supposed to be the voice of hope and reason.
No, the hope I have is that okay. Here's the hope: this too shall pass. You know, we're going to tend towards more freedom. Ultimately, we're going to tend towards, because tyranny is an unstable system. They push so fast, so hard, so fast. Eventually, more and more people wake up and realize, hey, wait, we're living in fucking tyranny now. Yeah, I've got a cool VR setup, but I'm not free to do anything but play VR. This is horseshit. And more people wake up, and the pushback will be that much greater. And at the end of it, after the fourth turning, things will be much more, much more better. So That's why I say this too shall pass. And think about it this way: the good side, it's going to be a hell of an adventure. It's going to be fun.
Correct. I'm too old for an adventure now.
No, you're not. If I'm not too old for an adventure, you're not too old for an adventure.
Why couldn't this happen when I was like 24?
Because you wouldn't have recognized the signs, and you would have just said, "This is just chaos," and you would have been sad and shit. Um, Costin shared a link about tyranny was stable for 3,000 years. Yeah, GZ, we've had this discussion before. Tyranny can maintain itself for a long time, but it's never stable. There's always people trying to work around the tyranny, undermine the tyranny, work, black markets. As long as there's been tyrannies and controls on people's behavior, there have been black markets for the behavior that people want to engage in. It's not going to be pretty and it's not going to be easy, but ultimately we tend towards more freedom. At least I believe that. Maybe it doesn't seem like it right now, but I think ultimately we will realize more freedom. So that's me though.
Costin, can you give us the QRD on that link so we don't have to go look it up and read it?
Well,
Or did you want us
the
to
link
read it?
says Toronto Mayor John Tory's statement. I think he's talking about John Tory's resignation.
He
You heard
resigned?
about? Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Apparently, he was having sex with a staffer. Oh wow, that's
Oh.
so fucking scandalous these days. We had a prime minister that called his citizens fucking every egregious name in the book and said we shouldn't tolerate them. But John Tory sleeping with his fucking staff—that's fucking quaint comparative.
Yeah. Uh, is that U.S. on the decline financially since the
Yeah,
Federal
yeah,
Reserve?
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe you got a point then. Yeah, you're right. It's been about a century. Yeah.
Yeah, have you noticed that? Anytime a nation decides they're going to try and collect enough gold, silver, precious metals and try and actually back their money with something of actual value and maybe, boot out or control their internationally or foreign owned and controlled central bank, that suddenly, wow, that country's led by monsters, always has been. We got to go fucking murder the entire government there. Got to go to war with them. They're
See, that's the
terrible. How
problem,
dare they
right?
do that?
I think the people who've tried to do it are doing it in the wrong order, and they're doing it wrong. They're just kicking out the central bankers. No, you need to go and execute them, and then send their heads to the central offices of those central banks in other countries and say, "This is what happens if you come here."
So it wasn't that brutal. Wasn't that brutal? But Hitler did that.
He cut off their heads.
No, no, not that brutal. But I
No,
think they were actually like prosecuted under the law, right, and imprisoned. So yeah, and then
no,
JFK,
you gotta go full on. This is Sparta kind of shit. You know,
J,
kick them
JFK
down a
started
fucking hole and
saying,
say, "This is Sparta," and yeah,
just put him down the well, eh? No,
yeah, just
JFK started
kick them
talking
into a
about
hole. You see, we're coming from the Central Bank of London, and we're a little concerned with your economic attempts to start your own currency based on maple syrup, Mr. Canada Man. And then Prime Minister Canada Man says, "Come here, let's go for a ride in my helicopter. How do you like the Canada Man copter?" Uh, that down there is Hudson's Bay. Isn't it beautiful?
JFK, right?
Yeah,
It was shortly after he spoke about like, a plot to enslave all of like every American through currency,
yep,
and he had to go.
yep. Gaddafi.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't gotten Assad yet, and they're trying to do Putin, of course.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. Oh, excuse me, I did it again.
The Rothschilds family owns as much land as some small nations.
I wouldn't
Like
be
the amount of
surprised.
land they own combined is bigger than the smallest nations in the world.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, you know,
Right.
I wonder how they feel about helicopters.
I'm sure they're not fans.
No, unless they're their helicopters and they
Oh
trust the
yeah,
pilots. Yeah.
Pri- private helicopters to get from one side of their estate to the other because it's that far.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh, they
Yeah,
own the
I'm kind of
world.
curious. I'm kind of curious what John Tory's statement was, though. I'll read it.
All right.
Oh, CBC News.
Yeah. Yeah. Do they have the statement just like printed out separately that you don't have to read the whole article?
No, this is well, it's a very short article. It says Toronto Mayor John Tory announced on Friday that he will step down from his office after admitting to a relationship with a former staffer. He said, quote, during the pandemic, I developed a relationship with an employee in my office in a way that did not meet the standards to which I hold myself as mayor and as a family man, Tory said during a brief statement at City Hall. Tory said the relationship ended by mutual consent earlier this year. The employee found employment outside of his office during the relationship, he said. I recognize that permitting this relationship to develop was a serious error in my judgment on my part. Tory said the relationship came at a time when he and his wife of more than 40 years were enduring many lengthy periods apart while I carried out my responsibility during the pandemic. The mayor said he will take time to reflect on his mistakes and will work to rebuild the trust of his family. I am deeply sorry and apologize unreservedly to the people of Toronto and all those harmed by my actions, including my staff, my colleagues on city council, and the public service for whom I have much respect, or such respect, Tory said. Most of all, I apologize to my wife Barb and to my family who I have let down more than anyone else. Tory said he has informed the integrity commissioner of the situation and has asked the office to review it. He said he will also work with the city manager, city clerk, and deputy mayor Jennifer McKelvey to ensure an orderly transition in the coming days. Okay, so what do we know about Jennifer McKelvey? Because she's going to be one to watch for a bit. While I deeply regret having to step away from a job I love in a city I love even more, I believe in my heart it is the best to fully commit. Excuse me. Sorry, myself to the work required to repair these most important relationships, he said. As well, I think it is important for the office of the mayor not to in any way be tarnished and not to see the city government itself put through a prolonged period of controversy arising out of this error in judgment on my part, especially in light of the challenges we face as a city. Tory thanked Toronto residents for trusting him as mayor. It has been the job of a lifetime. In a report on Friday night, Toronto Star said the woman, a former employee's 31-year-old, oh yeah, nice, and worked as an advisor in his office. Kristen Wong Tam, a former downtown councillor who's now provincial NDP MPP, said Tory had to step down. It's no secret that John Tory and I had many political disagreements, Wong Tam tweeted Friday night. I fully agree that he should resign. This is not a simple one-time lapse judgment. Tory was her boss, and this is an abuse of power. Well, no, it was a mutual relationship. Based on the City of Toronto Act, there will likely be a by-election in the coming weeks or months. City Council is set to meet Wednesday to vote on this year's budget, a spending plan Tory introduced and championed. Councillor Paula Fletcher, who represents Ward 14, Toronto Danforth, said she was absolutely shocked when she heard the news. She said it was a terrible lapse in judgment. I'm getting texts and calls. I think everybody's in a bit of a state of shock right now, she told reporters at City Hall. Fletcher said it's unclear when Tory will resign, and McKelvey is in Ottawa at a conference. I really think this is the moment when council is going to have to show its stuff as it has in the past. She said council had to step in to take the reins when Rob Ford was mayor. She added the budget is coming before council next week. It's the mayor's budget. I have no idea what that's going to look like, but I do think that all councillors are going to have to step up and keep the best interests of the city at heart during this very difficult time until we have a by-election, which I'm pretty sure we're going to have. Oh, she's okay. Paula Fletcher's out. Councillor Jamal Myers, who represents Scarborough North, said he is shocked and feels very sad for Tory's family and for the mayor. He said Tory was well respected on all sides. We're just all shocked and very, very sad, he said. Myers added the council needs to guide the city through the mayor's resignation. It really matters that we have a strong council rather than a strong mayor, he said. Myers said he appreciates that Tory has taken responsibility for his actions and he's praying for him and his family. But he's a piece of crap anyway. I never really liked him. I always thought he was a holier than thou piece of garbage.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that's something. Oh no, one thing I just remembered. We're at 2 hours, but I read it earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
The science is in. After many multivariate analyses, masks don't fucking work.
Yeah, I know. No, they don't. So
They haven't worked. They never worked.
yeah.
Anthony Fauci was actually the guy to prove this like 30 or 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? When they did the study on the mask usage during the Spanish flu.
Yeah. Well, no, what was happening was people were wearing masks and they were developing viral pneumonia as a result of it because they were wearing masks all the time.
Pneumonias. Yeah.
Bacterial pneumonia, sorry. No, but the stupid thing is, like, he knew this. He knew the masks didn't work. And initially, when he was first asked about wearing masks, his first response was, masks exist for use in acute settings. It's like in an operating room, a place where it's imperative that we keep, foreign bodies like spit and whatever out of like an open wound. They're not really meant for just walking around or riding on the bus. They don't do anything. They're for acute settings where, things need to be as close to sterile as possible. So unless you want to sterilize every fucking inch of the planet and keep it sterile at all times, which is a bad idea in the first place, then there's not much point in wearing them in your day-to-day life. It's stupid. I can understand if you had a cold and you're worried you might sneeze on somebody, and your hands are full, so you can't get your elbow to your mouth real quick. Maybe wear a mask. But like, I mean, for every schmuck walking around.
But if you've got a cold, don't fucking go places.
Well, like, some people have to, though, right? You have to go places.
But also, generally don't.
Yeah, no. If you're sick, you should stay home. Absolutely. But if for whatever reason you have to go out and you have to be in public and you are concerned about spreading germs, okay, put on a mask. I don't care if you wear a mask. I think it's dumb when I see people in the car by themselves wearing a fucking mask. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, who are you hoping to prevent infection? There's nobody in the fucking car with you, you twat.
Oh yeah, no. Do I have those pictures? Shit.
Oh, the people swimming with fucking masks on?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That was so fucking... God, just people are so retarded. Where did I put it? Yeah, Pox is right. We got to start using OBS and prepping. I don't know. I lost it.
What the hell is going on in Aurora, Ontario? Some jackass popped a shot through his floor. I don't know what. I have not heard. Ben Felsen made a point. You should stay home, but I'm having an affair.
Yeah.
And then Seamus says, every time I hear real communism hasn't been tried, I want to throw them off my not real helicopter auto gyros for the win. Yeah.
Okay, so no, wait, that's not right. I found it. There. Yeah. So just remember, these are the people.
Oh yeah.
Calling you calling you brainwashed conspiracy
Oh
theorists.
yeah. When they had fucking baseball games with cardboard cutouts in the stands. My Christ.
She's playing a French horn with a hole through the mask.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, they put a mask on a dinosaur bones post science.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
Yep.
Getting married with fucking masks on and kissing through the masks. I love the squirting the gun with holy water at the fucking baby being christened. Wait, the
Yep.
mom's not wearing masks. Neither's the baby. You want grandma to die.
That fucking bodysuit, though.
The only people who should be wearing masks are superheroes, as far as I'm concerned.
And even those, they tend to have the fucking bottom half cut out so they can fucking
Right.
breathe.
Well, that's Canada, man. His masks. Oh, that reminds me. Hold on a sec. I want to show you something. Hold the stream for a moment.
Oh, I'll try. But I ran out of like topics like almost an hour ago. Oh, we're going to be so far down an anti-Semitic rabbit hole by the time Craig gets back. It's going to be terrible. Yeah, I didn't hear anything about this Aurora business. I'll look into it. Maybe I'll find out what happened, do actual video, right? You never know. No, probably not. I haven't produced content in so long. Yeah, it's I saw some person with a mask or no person with a mask on yesterday. Oh, look, a witch. Yeah, like still to this day, I see people wearing masks. I work with people who still wear a mask. Like there's no it's literally just one guy who wears his mask at work now, but it's like, God, what the fuck are you thinking? Why? And now that yeah, no, it's in that everywhere that they, tried to force masks on everybody so much. And it's a lot of problems too. It's not just like they incorporated the idea that a lot of people aren't wearing them properly or refusing to wear them in settings where people are otherwise wearing them. The thing is, it doesn't matter because nobody is a professional, nobody's properly trained. You're not using other PPE, you're not changing the mask every like 30 to 40 minutes tops. You know, and like re-sanitizing constantly, which means it ends up doing absolutely nothing in the long term widespread. It's the same as not wearing them. So it's got zero efficacy, and there's absolutely no point except, of course, the virtue signal, right? What was that? What's his name there? Huxley, right? That the surest way to work up a crusade in favor of some good cause is to promise people they'll have a chance of maltreating someone, right? To be able to destroy with good conscience, to be able to behave badly and call your bad behavior righteous indignation. This is the height of psychological luxury, the most delicious of moral treats. We're just animals, and sometimes we like to break stuff. And if we get to break stuff because we're good people, God, oh, you see them marching out in the streets, burning down entire towns, right? And calling you a bad guy. Yeah, I imagine this is part of it too. Some Delta welcome. A lot of what's it called? Yeah, like they've been made paranoid, and it's the only way they can feel secure. It's actually I feel bad for those people. I don't think they're the ones that are the same ones that are going to go out into the streets and burn shit down in because masks.
Masks? You talking about masks?
Still, yeah, I actually managed to keep it going there for a minute. I thought I was going to
Okay.
go down an anti-Semitic rabbit hole, but yeah, here we are.
Okay, 1 second. New Canada Man mask.
Nice. New base.
Yeah, new base mask. So the plan is to make another maple leaf, but this one will be white. And I'm probably gonna use iron-on material. I'm just trying to think: do I go above my nose, or do I keep my nose completely covered?
Uh, you gotta find a way to, yeah, just the tip, like put it to the tip of the nose, like
And
Batman's
of course, I
cowl.
won't wear the beard, but it's cool because it goes all the way down my neck, and it zips at the back. So anyway, yeah, I'm not sure I like the eye holes. I think they might be a little too small, but anyway,
You could
I
alter
picked
them.
this up on AliExpress for I don't know, like $5 or something.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, so looks like nothing right now, but when it has the maple leaf,
I can already picture it. Yeah, it's gonna be slick.
Canada Man.
And are they gonna be like different masks and get ups for different like tactical situations? Like Batman always has some new piece of gear and new piece of something for any possible situation.
Yeah, that's the idea. So basically, I've got one that kind of looks like you remember Batman versus Superman, where he had that like suit of armor.
Yeah.
I've got like a helmet that I'm putting together that's a mask, very similar. It's got like a chin strap. The mouth is open, but the nose is covered. The eyes are open. That's still in progress. I'm still working on that one. So that's like a big thing of armor type mask. That one I'm gonna probably. I was thinking of doing it black, but I think I'll make that one white. I think I'll make it like solid white, but I'll put some like scratches in it and then some silver rub and buff so it looks like it's made of metal. So it looks like it's distressed metal. Um, yeah. And then I have one
Okay.
I'm making out of leather. I picked up a leather fantasy helmet kit. It just rivets together. And I'm going to change it so it looks less like a helmet and more like a superhero mask. And then that one will probably be black with red. So
Um just for shits and giggles. Canada Man should have this type of getup as well.
suit of armor,
Yeah, yeah, but with
fucking shield
enormous
with big
maple
maple
leaves.
leaf on it.
Yeah.
That would be good. Like a Crusader helmet, eh? That would be
Yep.
cool. Yeah, because he's got like the fleur de lis on the helmet cross, right? So it could be a maple leaf instead of a fleur de lis.
Fleur de lis isn't exactly foreign to Canada.
No,
Yeah, you could incorporate it somehow.
for sure. Yeah, like because Batman's got all those suits from when he like traveled through time and shit. So there's like a medieval Batman.
That's right.
There's fucking ninja Batman, samurai Batman and stuff. Yeah, why the hell not? Anyway, yeah, so I got this mask. I really like how it fits. It fits really nice. It's nice and tight, but it needs to be done up to make it look proper. And of course, if I wear it for airsoft, I'm going to be wearing like protective eyeglasses underneath it so you get to see those lenses through the eyes, which is kind of cool.
Right.
Canadaman fighting evil Trudeau. I will fight him at the ballot box. Canadaman's running for prime minister. And if you're in Canada and want to be a member of the Canadaman party, just send me an email. Candidates have to wear a superhero outfit. And the colors red, black, and white. A little bit of gray accent is okay. And yeah, and you have to say you're representing the Canadaman party. You have to be wearing the costume when you go and campaign. You get enough Canada men in the ridings, and you can be a woman and be a part of the Canada Man Party, but it's still going to be called the Canada Man Party. Tout est malade, tous les Québécois sont malades. Trudeau is sick. So is
All the
all
Quebecois are
Quebec.
sick.
What's that?
All the Quebecois are sick.
That's what I thought it said. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how much French we retain, eh?
Yeah, I barely even remember studying it. I know I did, but I just remember what is your name? My name is. How are you? I'm fine. That kind of shit.
No, but like when something pops up or somebody says something in French, I'm like, wait a minute,
I think I can
why do
translate
I
it.
speak French? Yeah, like, or I'll see something written down and be like, oh, Costin says it means evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad. I mean, yeah,
Trudeau is bad, yeah. Trudeau is evil, yeah. Malade normally means sick.
I would think
You know that's how we got the name Marmalade?
because it's bad.
No, Marmalade was originally it was concocted uh, when for Mary Queen of Scots as like a remedy for when she was feeling sick, and she had a bunch of French serving girls, and they would say, "Oh, marmalade, Mary's sick," so they would put this concoction together and serve it to her, and it was supposed to
Huh,
make her feel better. So that's where marmalade comes from. Queen Mary Queen of Scots had French serving girls, French servants.
interesting.
Yeah. Toronto's evil, Québécois sont malades. Yeah.
Toronto gets a new mayor. Not yet. Soon.
You should run. I'd vote for you.
Now, if Faith Goldie can't get a seat at the debate, how am I gonna?
You're right.
After my constant anti-Semitic rants, we should just keep saying that about me. I'll never actually go on one because that's not a thing. But it would just keep it just keep calling me a rabid anti-Semite.
Mr. Bragg, you know Irving Twin quite well. What's your opinion of him? Oh, he's a great guy. He's wonderful, but he's a rabid anti-Semite. Really? What has he said? Oh, nothing. I just know it. I just know he is. I can tell.
There was this thing about Hitler getting rid of the central banks or something. I don't know.
Yeah. He says Rothschilds with a weird accent. So
Rothschild.
Rothschild. How much you want to bet that the Toronto mayor is going to be a person of color,
Or a trans woman.
a trans woman of color, a disabled trans woman of color?
Yeah, no, that's for sure gonna happen now. We just willed that into
That's
existence.
right.
It's over.
We should make a meme candidate. Like use some AI art to make a trans disabled woman of color and start making a whole bunch of campaign posters for this fictional person and plaster them all over Toronto. She got
I,
30,000 votes too. Faith Goldie? Yeah.
I think it was closer to 25,000, but yes, she did. Actually, it was really really terrible. This isn't like a vote of confidence for me. This is just I am evil, Toronto is evil, therefore it matches. He's not really complimenting me at all.
No.
But yeah, it was terrible. Now I can't remember if she was third or fourth in polling, and she was significantly behind the front runners. Right, that they were split. Like I don't know if she was fourth, it was like 1, 2, and 3 had like 40%, 30%, and 10%, and she had 4%, and then the bunch of candidates after all were like 1% each. She wasn't invited to the debate, but 3 or 4 of the people behind her were.
Yeah.
Right? It's like that's fucking disgusting. Like
Yeah.
there should be some fucking law against that, and the
Yeah.
people who
Democracy's in a
orchestrated it.
The problem is the debates are not part of the electoral, like they're not part of the election system. They're run by private companies with private interests. So
Oh, also I am a meme candidate.
well, what do you say, sir? For over 2 hours now. I know I spent a little time searching for my mask,
Hmm.
but
No, no, no. This is about the right time.
all right.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. We did it. I even kept it going in your absence, which was a bit of a struggle.
Nah.
Well, the struggle was not going on an anti-Semitic rant, right? Completely unrestrained by you. That was
That's right. Oh, so you stay out of your anti-Semitic rants because I'm here. Hey, man, don't make me fucking stop
well,
you. You speak your mind. You filthy
no, there are no
anti-Semite.
Jews. There are only skinwalkers. That's
That's funny.
oh, but yeah, no, it's been a good show, and I think it's a good time to call it.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for
Considering
coming out. I appreciate you having me on again. I know you do every year, every week, but appreciate you allowing me to continue to be your co-host, even though I'm a filthy atheist.
and I appreciate you allowing me to be your co-host on your show, even though I'm a rabid anti-Semite.
You got to be tolerant of other people's points of view.
Persecuted for my beliefs, man.
Well, you won't be persecuted on the ammunition. We allow all walks of life, and no matter how deplorable they might be, everyone's permitted in the ammunition.
And on that note, thank you everyone for coming. Have a good night. We won't see you next week, probably.
No, probably not.
But yeah,
unless Irving does one on his own, he might do something on his own. But I won't be here.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
All
right. Thank you, everyone. Good night. We will see you next time, whenever the hell that is. Wait. Go on. Pro-Semitic rants. Hey, nice international banking system, guys.
Israel is a wonderful nation and the only democracy in the Middle East.
Oh, it must be nice being chosen by God. Okay. Good night. We'll see you. Have a good one. Thank you, guys. Thank you.